The first time you lay eyes on Stonehenge, it is impossible not to be captivated. Towering monoliths rise from the English plain, standing in a silent, almost defiant testament to a forgotten past. Mist drifts across the grassy fields at dawn, curling around the massive stones like a shroud, and for a moment, it feels as though time itself has paused. There is an aura here, an energy, that seems almost alive, whispering secrets to anyone willing to listen. What makes this place so utterly mesmerizing is not just the grandeur of its construction or the sheer audacity of its scale. It is the mystery that clings to it like a shadow. For thousands of years, humans have stared at these stones and asked the same questions. Who built this? Why? And, perhaps most chillingly, what truths have been deliberately hidden from us? From the very first glance, Stonehenge appears more than a monument. It is a puzzle etched in stone, a riddle crafted by hands long gone. Conventional archaeology has given us dates, measurements, and a basic understanding of its construction phases. Yet every explanation seems to generate more questions than answers. The bluestones, quarried hundreds of miles away in the rugged hills of Wales, were transported using methods that continue to baffle modern engineers. The sarsen stones, each weighing multiple tons, were raised into place with a precision that defies simple Neolithic tools. And yet, despite centuries of study, the true purpose of this enigmatic site remains elusive, hidden beneath layers of time, myth, and speculation. Some say Stonehenge was a temple. Others insist it was a burial ground. Astronomers have suggested it served as a calendar, precisely aligned with solstices and celestial events. Druids, mystics, and modern spiritualists claim it was a site of powerful rituals, a place where the veil between the mundane and the supernatural was thin. But what if all of these theories, even combined, barely scratch the surface of its true significance? What if the answers lie not in what we can see, but in what has been deliberately obscured or forgotten? Imagine walking among these stones centuries ago, when the monument was new and the world around it was unrecognizable. The air would have been filled with the sounds of human endeavor, the groaning of massive timber rollers, the chants and cries of laborious, the rhythmic pounding of stone upon stone. There would have been ceremonies, too, mysterious rites that are now lost to time, echoing across the hills in ways that perhaps we can no longer comprehend. The ancients who built Stonehenge were not primitive. They were visionaries, architects of a reality that seems to blend science, spirituality, and perhaps something far stranger. The more we learn about Stonehenge, the more extraordinary it becomes. Ground-penetrating radar and modern technology have uncovered hidden structures beneath the surface, revealing ditches, pits, and earthworks that suggest the monument was only one piece of a much larger, intricately planned landscape. Nearby sites, including Durrington Walls and Woodhenge, hint at a sprawling ceremonial network that connected people, places, and perhaps even ideas we can scarcely imagine today. It is almost as if the builders were encoding messages in stone and earth, messages that would remain unreadable to anyone without the key, a key that may have been lost to history itself. The myths surrounding Stonehenge only deepen the intrigue. Legends tell of Merlin, the enigmatic wizard of Arthurian lore, conjuring the stones from afar. Folklore whispers of giants, supernatural forces, and celestial intervention. While many dismiss these tales as fanciful stories, a closer examination suggests they may contain fragments of truth disguised as myth. Perhaps the storytellers of old were attempting to convey knowledge too profound, too dangerous, or too sacred to be written plainly. Every stone at Stonehenge feels deliberate. Every alignment, every placement, seems purposeful, yet the rationale eludes definitive explanation. Some stones form circles, others rectangles. Some align with the sunrise on the summer solstice, others seem to correspond with lunar cycles. Could this have been merely ceremonial? Or does the pattern hint at something far more sophisticated, an advanced understanding of astronomy, mathematics, or even energies of the earth that modern science is only beginning to comprehend? What is most striking is the sense that Stonehenge was designed not just for observation, but for transformation. There is an almost palpable energy that visitors describe, a sense of awe, disorientation, even altered consciousness. Could the ancients have known something about human perception and consciousness that we have since forgotten? Were these stones more than mere monuments, perhaps serving as instruments, amplifiers, or gateways to experiences we cannot yet explain? In the coming journey, we will explore every angle of Stonehenge, peeling back the layers of history, archaeology, and legend. We will examine evidence that challenges conventional understanding and uncover theories that might seem unbelievable, yet are grounded in meticulous research. From the astonishing feats of ancient engineering to the possibility of lost civilizations and hidden knowledge, Every revelation brings us closer to a truth that has been obscured for millennia. By the end, you may find yourself looking at Stonehenge not as a simple relic of the past, but as a profound mystery that forces us to question everything we think we know about human history. Stonehenge is not merely a monument. It is a riddle, a challenge, and an invitation. It stands as a silent witness to an ancient world, daring us to uncover its secrets. And those secrets, when finally revealed, promise to astonish, bewilder, and forever change the way we view our place in the tapestry of time. Stonehenge is much more than a collection of stones standing in an empty field. To the casual observer, it may seem simple, a circle of massive rocks arranged in a peculiar pattern, but beneath its weathered exterior lies a story that spans thousands of years. Located in Wiltshire, England, it occupies a unique place in human history as one of the most famous prehistoric monuments in the world. Scholars estimate that the first stones were erected around 3100 BCE, nearly 5,000 years ago, yet even after millennia of study, the monument continues to defy conventional explanation. Its mere existence challenges our understanding of ancient human capabilities, planning, and ambition. The structure consists of several types of stones, each with its own enigmatic origin and purpose. The massive sarsen stones form the iconic outer circle and trilithons, pairs of vertical stones capped by horizontal lintels. These stones, weighing up to 25 tons each, were transported from locations roughly 20 miles away. The smaller bluestones, many originating from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away, were carried across rugged terrain, rivers, and forests using methods that remain a mystery. Scholars continue to debate exactly how these ancient builders accomplished such an extraordinary feat without the benefit of modern machinery. Some suggest rolling logs, sledges, and human ingenuity. Others hint at lost technologies or techniques that have been forgotten over the ages. Stonehenge's design is as deliberate as it is perplexing. The stones are arranged in concentric circles, carefully aligned with astronomical events such as the summer and winter solstices. During the summer solstice, the sun rises directly over the heel stone, creating a spectacle that would have held immense significance for the people who built it. These alignments suggest that Stonehenge functioned not merely as a monument, but as a tool for observing and understanding celestial patterns. And yet, despite these clues, the full purpose of the site remains elusive. Was it a calendar? A sacred space? A place of initiation or healing? The answers remain tantalizingly out of reach, hidden in plain sight. The surrounding landscape adds further layers to the mystery. Stonehenge does not stand alone. Archaeological surveys have revealed a network of nearby structures, including burial mounds, henges, and settlements that hint at a complex and interconnected ritual landscape. Durrington Walls, located just 2 miles from Stonehenge, is one of the largest Neolithic settlements ever discovered, with evidence of ceremonial activity, feasting, and possibly gatherings of thousands. These nearby sites suggest that Stonehenge was the centerpiece of a larger cultural and spiritual framework, a hub of activity where the social, religious, and astronomical worlds converged. Despite centuries of excavation and research, many of Stonehenge's most compelling secrets remain buried beneath the earth. Early archaeologists focused primarily on the visible stones, often missing or dismissing subtle features such as hidden pits, post holes, and other anomalies that hint at more intricate structures and designs. Modern technologies like ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and LiDAR have uncovered previously invisible elements of the site, revealing evidence of timber circles, hidden ditches, and even possible ceremonial pathways that suggest a level of planning and sophistication far beyond what was once assumed. Every discovery raises new questions, reinforcing the idea that Stonehenge was more than just a simple stone circle. It was an architectural and cultural marvel whose full complexity we are only beginning to understand. One of the most fascinating aspects of Stonehenge is the way it challenges assumptions about prehistoric humans. For generations, mainstream scholars portrayed Neolithic societies as relatively simple, limited in their technological and organizational abilities. Stonehenge forces a reconsideration of this narrative. The monument required careful planning, coordination of labor, transportation of massive stones over vast distances, and an understanding of geometry and astronomy. Whether for ceremonial, astronomical, or possibly unknown purposes, its construction demonstrates a level of sophistication that rivals civilizations often thought to be far more advanced. The monument's allure is amplified by the scarcity of written records from the era. Unlike the Egyptians, the Sumerians, or the Mayans, the people who built Stonehenge left behind no written instructions, no explanatory inscriptions, no detailed accounts of their methods or intentions. We are left to decipher their work through the stones themselves, the surrounding landscape, and the few artifacts they left behind. This absence of documentation adds an aura of enigma, creating a sense that the truth of Stonehenge's purpose has been intentionally veiled, either lost to time or deliberately hidden by those who understood it. Stonehenge also occupies a unique place in the imagination of the modern world. Artists, writers, and filmmakers have drawn inspiration from its looming presence, from romanticized depictions of druids conducting secretive ceremonies to speculative theories of alien intervention. Its image evokes mystery, power, and a connection to forces beyond ordinary comprehension. And while some may dismiss such interpretations as fanciful, they highlight the monument's ability to provoke thought and stir the imagination, a testament to its enduring power as a symbol of the unknown. In tracing the history of Stonehenge, from its initial construction to its place in contemporary culture, one cannot escape a sense of wonder. Each stone, each alignment, each hidden feature invites us to look deeper, question assumptions, and imagine possibilities that stretch the limits of our understanding. Stonehenge is a puzzle of epic proportions, a challenge to historians, archaeologists, and dreamers alike. Its existence forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about human ingenuity, forgotten knowledge, and the true scope of our ancestors' capabilities. As we journey further into the secrets of Stonehenge, we will explore not only its physical structure but the stories, theories, and evidence that hint at a much larger truth. Every discovery, every new insight, brings us closer to unraveling a mystery that has captivated humanity for millennia. The more we uncover, the more we realize how little we truly know, and that very mystery is what makes Stonehenge one of the most compelling enigmas in human history. Long before archaeologists ever set foot on the Wiltshire Plains, long before carbon dating or ground-penetrating radar, Stonehenge existed as a monument shrouded in myth and legend. To the ancient peoples who gazed upon it, the stones were far more than rock. They were living symbols of power, magic, and cosmic significance. Stories of giants carrying stones from distant lands, of wizards summoning magic to raise the megaliths, and of mystical forces guiding human hands have persisted for centuries, passed down through generations as oral history, folklore, and later, romanticized literature. These legends offer tantalizing glimpses into a world where the natural and supernatural intertwined, where human understanding of reality was not limited to the tangible but extended into realms we can barely comprehend today. Perhaps the most famous legend involves Merlin, the enigmatic wizard of Arthurian lore, whose magical prowess is said to have moved the stones from Ireland to their present location in England. According to the tale, Merlin transported these massive stones overnight, effortlessly defying the laws of physics and engineering that still confound modern scholars. While historians dismiss such stories as fanciful, some theorists suggest that myths often encode fragments of truth. Could it be that Merlin represents the knowledge and ingenuity of people whose methods have been lost to time? Could the magic be a metaphor for advanced techniques or forgotten science? These stories, once thought to be simple fairy tales, take on a new level of intrigue when viewed through the lens of possibility rather than outright impossibility. Giants are another recurring motif in the legends of Stonehenge. Folklore tells of colossal beings lifting stones that no human could possibly move, shaping the landscape according to their own inscrutable purposes. In a time when monumental architecture was rare, attributing such feats to supernatural or superhuman forces was a natural way for people to explain the seemingly impossible. Some scholars suggest that these myths reflect humanity's or at the scale and complexity of Stonehenge, capturing the wonder and fear that the monument inspired in those who could only marvel at its enormity. Whether allegorical or literal, the stories emphasize that Stonehenge was not merely a construction. It was an event, a force, a creation that commanded reverence and respect. Celtic and Druidic traditions also play a crucial role in the myths surrounding Stonehenge. Druids are often depicted conducting ceremonies at the site, performing rituals to honor the sun, the earth, and the spirits that inhabit them. While historical evidence for Druidic use of Stonehenge is scant, the enduring association underscores the monument's spiritual resonance. Druids, with their deep understanding of nature and cosmic cycles, may have been drawn to the site for its energy, alignments, and symbolic power. These stories hint that Stonehenge's purpose could have extended beyond the physical or practical, serving as a focal point for consciousness, ritual, or sacred knowledge. The myths create an atmosphere in which the monument is not simply observed but experienced, a place where human perception and the mystical intertwine. Legends from local communities often add another layer of mystery. Tales abound of ghosts, spectral figures, and unexplained phenomena at Stonehenge, particularly at dawn or twilight, when the stones cast long shadows across the plains. Witnesses have reported hearing strange sounds, feeling sudden chills, or experiencing moments of profound clarity or unease. Whether these stories are products of imagination or reflections of deeper truths encoded in the monument itself, they have perpetuated the idea that Stonehenge is a living entity of sorts, a place where the veil between the seen and unseen is thin. These legends serve a dual purpose. They instill a sense of awe and caution, and they preserve the monument's enigmatic reputation across generations. Interestingly, the myths surrounding Stonehenge often blend elements of history, cosmology, and morality. Many legends describe the stones as possessing life or agency, moving or changing under certain conditions, or bestowing blessings or curses upon those who approach them. This animistic perspective suggests that the ancients may have viewed Stonehenge not as a static monument but as a dynamic system, a nexus of power interacting with the natural and spiritual world. Even if these beliefs seem fantastical today, they reveal a sophisticated understanding of the relationship between humans, nature, and the cosmos, an understanding that modern science is only beginning to explore in fields like geomancy, acoustics, and archaeology. The myths are not merely quaint stories. They are also cultural mirrors, reflecting the hopes, fears, and values of the societies that created them. In a time when written records were scarce or non-existent, myths conveyed knowledge, preserved memory, and transmitted cultural wisdom. They offered explanations for phenomena that would otherwise be inexplicable, alignments with the sun, strange stones, or hidden underground features, and embedded them in narratives that were easier to remember and pass along. In this way, myths may have served as an ancient form of encoded information, a way to safeguard insights about the monument's purpose, construction, or significance in ways that ordinary observation could not. Modern researchers, fascinated by the overlap of myth and archaeology, have begun to re-examine these stories with new perspectives. Could the legends of giants, wizards, and supernatural forces hint at lost engineering techniques, forgotten scientific principles, or even a suppressed history of human achievement? Some theorists argue that myths should not be dismissed outright but read like cryptic manuscripts, where allegory hides literal truths and the impossible gestures toward real, yet unexplained, phenomena. The interplay between myth and archaeology at Stonehenge challenges the conventional boundaries between history and legend, inviting a reconsideration of what might have been possible in the Neolithic world. As the stories of Merlin, giants, druids, and spirits intertwine with the stones themselves, Stonehenge becomes more than an archaeological site. It transforms into a narrative landscape, a monument that communicates through both stone and story. Every legend, every myth, every whispered tale from the past adds another layer to its mystery, hinting at purposes, powers, and knowledge long forgotten. They remind us that human beings have always sought to explain what they cannot fully understand, blending imagination with observation, logic with wonder. Ultimately, the myths of Stonehenge prepare us for the revelations that lie ahead. They teach us that the monument is not merely a collection of rocks but a living enigma, a symbol of human curiosity and ingenuity that has resisted explanation for millennia. By examining these stories, we begin to glimpse the profound reverence and/or that ancient peoples felt for the site, feelings that modern visitors continue to experience today. And as we move from legend into archaeology, science, and forbidden theories, these myths provide the perfect bridge, reminding us that sometimes the line between fact and story is thinner than we imagine. Long before the advent of modern technology, before ground-penetrating radar and carbon dating, Stonehenge drew the attention of scholars, antiquarians, and curious wanderers who sought to unlock its secrets. The first recorded attempts to study the site date back to the 17th century, when explorers and writers began documenting its arrangement, size, and sheer presence. To these early observers, Stonehenge was already a monument steeped in mystery, a relic from a time long before memory. They approached it with a mixture of awe and bewilderment, often attempting to reconcile the grandeur of the stones with the presumed simplicity of the people who built them. One of the earliest detailed examinations came from the work of John Aubrey, a 17th-century antiquarian who meticulously surveyed the monument. Aubrey noted not only the size and positioning of the stones but also the surrounding earthworks, ditches, and pits that hinted at a larger ceremonial complex. He observed features that would later become central to our understanding of the site, such as the circular layout and the heel stone's alignment with the sunrise on the summer solstice. While Aubrey lacked the tools and scientific rigor of modern archaeology, his careful records provided a foundation for generations of researchers who would follow, capturing details that might otherwise have been lost to time. In the centuries that followed, Stonehenge continued to draw the attention of pioneering archaeologists. William Stukeley, an 18th-century antiquarian, conducted some of the first systematic excavations, meticulously documenting the site's layout and attempting to interpret its purpose. Stukely was fascinated by the monument's potential connection to ancient Druids, imagining the site as a place of ritual and worship. His observations, while speculative by today's standards, were groundbreaking for their time and helped to frame the way Stonehenge would be studied for centuries. Stukely's work, blending meticulous documentation with imaginative interpretation, laid the groundwork for both serious archaeology and the enduring mystique that surrounds the stones. By the 19th century, more formal archaeological efforts began to uncover tangible evidence of the people who built Stonehenge. Excavations revealed fragments of tools, flint implements, and pottery shards, each hinting at a culture both sophisticated and enigmatic. These early finds were often perplexing. Some suggested domestic activity, while others implied ceremonial or ritual use. Burials discovered near the site introduced a deeper level of intrigue, suggesting that Stonehenge was not merely a monument but a focal point of life and death, a place where the living honored the dead and sought to connect with forces beyond the human realm. One of the most puzzling discoveries of the early period was the identification of pits and hollows surrounding the stones, later termed the Aubrey holes. These circular depressions, invisible to casual observation, seemed to suggest that the monument's design extended far beyond the visible stones. Were these pits symbolic, holding sacred objects or remains? Or did they serve a practical function, perhaps related to astronomy, ritual, or construction? Early archaeologists could only speculate, and many questions remained unanswered. The more they dug, the more enigmatic the site became, hinting that Stonehenge's mysteries were layered and complex, far deeper than mere stone and soil. In addition to physical discoveries, the early period of archaeology at Stonehenge also revealed the challenges of interpretation. Different scholars proposed wildly divergent theories. Some insisted the monument was a temple, others a calendar, and still others a burial site. Each explanation carried weight, yet none seemed fully satisfactory. Even the most meticulous observers were confronted by a fundamental tension. The evidence suggested extraordinary knowledge and capability, yet the creators left no written records to clarify their intentions. This tension between what is visible and what is hidden, between fact and speculation, became a defining feature of Stonehenge research, compelling subsequent generations to seek answers through ever more sophisticated methods. Early discoveries also highlighted the monument's resilience and the impact of time. Centuries of weathering, human interference, and natural erosion had altered the site, complicating efforts to reconstruct its original appearance and purpose. Stones had fallen, shifted, or been removed, and soil layers had accumulated over buried features, concealing crucial evidence. Yet, even in its fragmented state, Stonehenge retained an unmistakable aura of intentionality, a sense that every stone, every circle, and every alignment was deliberate. Early archaeologists were struck by the realization that they were confronting not just a ruin, but a carefully designed system, a monument that had survived millennia yet still spoke with clarity to those who observed carefully. These early investigations set the stage for the more advanced studies of the 20th and 21st centuries. They revealed that Stonehenge was not merely a local curiosity but a monument of global significance, one that demanded new methods, innovative thinking, and a willingness to question established assumptions. From Aubrey's careful surveys to Stukely's imaginative interpretations, the early archaeologists laid the foundation for our modern understanding, uncovering evidence that challenged conventional history and hinted at knowledge lost to time. Their work revealed tantalizing glimpses of rituals, alignments, and construction techniques, each raising new questions and deepening the sense of wonder that continues to surround Stonehenge today. Perhaps the most striking lesson from these early discoveries is that Stonehenge resists easy explanation. Every excavation, every artifact, and every measurement seems to confirm what the ancients must have known intuitively, that this is not a simple monument. It is a statement, a challenge, and an invitation. The people who built Stonehenge were visionaries, capable of feats that still inspire awe and debate. They left behind evidence that is tantalizing yet incomplete, forcing modern observers to piece together a story from fragments, myths, and subtle clues. And in doing so, they created a monument that continues to captivate the imagination, centuries after the first tools scratched the earth, centuries after the first archaeologists dared to dig. In tracing the early history of Stonehenge's excavation, one thing becomes clear: the more we uncover, the more complex and mysterious the monument becomes. Every artifact, pit, and measurement tells a story, but none provide the full answer. Early archaeology did not solve the mystery of Stonehenge. It deepened it, revealing that what we can see today is merely the surface of a vast, hidden narrative. It is a puzzle that spans millennia, one that demands curiosity, imagination, and a willingness to question everything we think we know about our ancient past. The stones of Stonehenge are more than mere rocks. They are colossal, silent witnesses to a history that stretches back thousands of years, guarding secrets that continue to elude modern understanding. At first glance, the monument structure seems deceptively simple. Massive stones arranged in concentric circles, capped with horizontal lintels, forming trilithons that inspire awe in anyone who approaches. Yet every stone tells a story of mystery, ingenuity, and perhaps even lost knowledge, challenging everything we think we know about the capabilities of Neolithic humans. Their sheer size and weight defy easy explanation, and their origins raise questions that have puzzled archaeologists for centuries. The largest stones at Stonehenge, the Sarsens, weigh up to 25 tons each and were quarried from Marlborough Downs, roughly 20 miles to the north. Moving these massive stones over such a distance without modern machinery is an astonishing feat, one that has fueled endless speculation. Theories abound. Some suggest they were rolled on logs, dragged over sledges, or transported via waterways, yet no evidence conclusively proves any method. Even the simplest tasks, lifting, positioning, and securing these immense stones, present challenges that continue to baffle engineers today. The precision with which they were aligned, often perfectly perpendicular or forming exact geometric shapes, hints at knowledge that seems remarkably advanced for the era. Equally mysterious are the smaller bluestones, each weighing up to 4 tons, transported from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. Their journey, across rugged terrain, rivers, and forests, is one of the most puzzling aspects of Stonehenge. Archaeologists have debated whether they were transported by human effort alone, or whether some forgotten technique was employed, perhaps one that has been lost to time. Some alternative theorists even suggest that the stones were moved with the help of ice, rollers lubricated with animal fat, or even methods we cannot yet comprehend. Regardless of the method, the transport of these stones represents a staggering accomplishment, demonstrating determination, coordination, and ingenuity beyond what many assume Neolithic humans possessed. The stones themselves carry further mysteries in their composition and selection. The bluestones, unlike the local Sarsens, were carefully chosen, often for their distinctive colors, textures, or acoustic properties. Some researchers suggest these stones were believed to hold spiritual or healing properties, and their inclusion may have been more than practical, it may have been symbolic. The ancients seemed to recognize qualities in these stones that extended beyond the physical, perhaps sensing something inherent in their material that imbued the site with power or resonance. The deliberate pairing of Sarsens and bluestones, combined with precise positioning, indicates that the monument was not merely functional but deeply intentional, each stone selected for its unique role within the greater design. Even more confounding is the way the stones are fitted together. The lintels rest atop the vertical supports with remarkable precision, using mortise and tenon joints and tongue and groove connections that would challenge even modern builders. This level of craftsmanship suggests not only advanced knowledge of structural engineering but also a deliberate aesthetic or symbolic intention. Every joint, every placement, every alignment seems calculated to endure millennia, and endure it has. The builders were not merely constructing a temporary monument, they were creating a statement of permanence, one designed to withstand the ravages of time, weather, and human interference. Geologists have added another layer of intrigue. The bluestone's unique composition suggests they were selected for more than mere availability. Some studies indicate that the stones emit natural vibrations, producing subtle acoustic effects when struck or moved. Could the ancients have understood and harnessed this property? Some researchers speculate that the stone's sonic qualities may have played a role in rituals, ceremonies, or even consciousness-altering experiences. This possibility introduces an entirely new dimension to Stonehenge, a place where not only the eyes and mind were engaged but perhaps the body, the spirit, and the senses as well. The mystery deepens when considering the broader context of megalithic construction. Across Europe and the ancient world, massive stones were erected with similar precision and purpose, from Karnak in France to the standing stones of Malta. Stonehenge fits within this pattern, yet it stands apart due to its scale, alignment, and enduring fame. The question arises, what drove these ancient people to undertake such monumental tasks? Was it religious devotion, social organization, cosmic observation, or a combination of factors we cannot fully grasp? And why choose this particular configuration, these specific stones, and this location? The answers remain elusive, hidden in the interplay between human ambition and natural phenomena. Even more mystifying is the lack of contemporary records explaining the stone's purpose. Unlike other civilizations, the builders of Stonehenge left no inscriptions, no texts, no direct account of their intentions. We are left to interpret through physical evidence, oral traditions, and later myths, clues that are tantalizing but incomplete. This absence of direct explanation adds to the aura of enigma surrounding the stones. It invites speculation, encourages alternative theories, and forces us to confront the possibility that the true purpose of Stonehenge may never be fully known. What is undeniable, however, is the enduring power of the stones themselves. Standing amidst them, one can feel the weight of history and the echo of human endeavor across millennia. They demand attention, respect, and contemplation. Each stone seems to carry a message, a code, or a question for those willing to look closely, to probe deeper, to imagine possibilities beyond conventional understanding. And as modern science continues to uncover hidden features, from buried pits to subtle alignments, it becomes clear that these stones are not merely markers of time or monuments to human labor. They are repositories of mystery, encoded with intentions and knowledge that we are only beginning to approach. In the end, the stones of Stonehenge remain a profound testament to human curiosity, ingenuity, and reverence for the unknown. They are simultaneously familiar and alien, simple yet complex, natural yet imbued with purpose. Each layer of investigation peels back one mystery only to reveal another, a reminder that Stonehenge is not a monument to be solved but a puzzle to be experienced. And as we continue our exploration, we are compelled to ask the same questions that have haunted observers for centuries. How were these stones moved? Why these stones? And what message, if any, were the builders trying to leave for us across the millennia? One of the most extraordinary aspects of Stonehenge, the feature that has puzzled scientists and mystics alike for centuries, is its astonishing alignment with the cosmos. From the first glimmers of dawn on the summer solstice to the mysterious setting of the winter sun, the monument seems to be more than a simple circle of stones. It appears to be a sophisticated celestial observatory, carefully constructed to track the movements of the heavens. This realization has sent shockwaves through the scientific community, forcing experts to reconsider the capabilities of Neolithic people who, according to traditional narratives, had no advanced tools or knowledge of astronomy. Yet here, in the quiet Wiltshire landscape, evidence suggests otherwise, evidence that is as precise as it is perplexing. Perhaps the most famous alignment occurs on the summer solstice. On this day, the rising sun perfectly frames the heel stone, casting light into the heart of the monument. For centuries, this phenomenon has drawn visitors from around the world, people who gather at dawn to witness the spectacle and feel a connection to something ancient, something beyond ordinary human experience. But the precision required to achieve this alignment is staggering. The builders would have needed not only careful observation over generations but also an understanding of the solar cycle, horizon measurements, and spatial geometry, knowledge that was, until recently, thought impossible for societies of the era. The winter solstice adds another layer of intrigue. During this time, the sun sets in perfect alignment with the central trilithons, illuminating the inner circle in a way that suggests deliberate planning. The seasonal symmetry between the summer and winter solstices hints at a deeper purpose, one that may have combined practical observation with ritual significance. It is almost as if the stones themselves were designed to mark the rhythm of the year, guiding the lives, agriculture, and spiritual practices of the people who constructed them. The implications are staggering. These were not simple laborious placing stones randomly. They were careful planners with profound knowledge of the sky. Lunar alignments further complicate the picture. Some researchers have noted that certain stones correspond to the positions of the moon during key phases, suggesting that Stonehenge may have functioned as a lunar calendar as well. Tracking the moon cycles would have been invaluable for predicting tides, planning agricultural activities, or coordinating ceremonial events. This dual solar-lunar function implies an extraordinary level of sophistication, an awareness of celestial mechanics that rivals the achievements of civilizations often considered far more advanced. It is a startling reminder that ancient humans were observing, calculating, and interacting with the cosmos in ways that modern observers sometimes underestimate. Astronomical studies of the site reveal additional layers of precision. Certain stones align with the rising and setting of specific stars or constellations, suggesting that Stonehenge may have been used to mark longer astronomical cycles or even track events over decades. Researchers have proposed that the monument could have served as a predictive tool, a way to forecast eclipses or other celestial phenomena with remarkable accuracy. If true, this knowledge represents a level of observational astronomy far beyond what has traditionally been attributed to Neolithic societies. The stones, in essence, may have functioned as both markers and instruments, capturing the dance of the heavens in a way that connects the earthbound to the infinite. The implications of these alignments extend beyond science. They suggest a profound spiritual or symbolic dimension. For cultures that lacked written records, the sky was a canvas on which meaning and significance were inscribed. Aligning massive stones with celestial events may have served multiple purposes: practical, ceremonial, and metaphysical. The monuments could have been used to celebrate the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, to honor deities associated with the sun and moon, or even to facilitate ritual experiences that aligned human consciousness with cosmic rhythms. This intersection of astronomy and spirituality challenges modern assumptions, suggesting that ancient builders were not only skilled engineers but also philosophical thinkers deeply attuned to the natural world. Even modern technology has confirmed the precision of these alignments. Using laser mapping, satellite imaging, and computer modeling, researchers have reconstructed the original layout of Stonehenge with incredible accuracy. The results are astonishing. What may have appeared random to the untrained eye is, in fact, a highly ordered system, where each stone has a specific role in tracking celestial events. These findings have shocked scientists who once assumed that the monument's construction was haphazard, reinforcing the idea that Stonehenge was a deliberate attempt to connect the human world with the heavens. Yet, despite this growing understanding, questions remain. How did the builders acquire such sophisticated astronomical knowledge? How did they transmit it across generations without written language? And why was this knowledge encoded into stones that would stand for millennia, seemingly resistant to the passage of time? Some scholars suggest that the astronomical alignments were symbolic, representing a cosmology or worldview rather than a practical tool. Others argue that they had practical purposes, guiding agriculture, religious ceremonies, or societal organization. Whatever the reason, the alignment of Stonehenge with celestial events remains one of its most compelling mysteries, bridging the gap between human ingenuity and cosmic wonder. The alignments also invite speculation about knowledge that may have been lost. Could these celestial patterns encode information beyond what we currently understand? Some theorists propose that the monument's layout reflects advanced knowledge of geometry, mathematics, or even energy patterns, subtly woven into its design in ways that modern science is only beginning to explore. The possibility that Stonehenge was both an astronomical instrument and a spiritual device creates a sense of awe that persists to this day, reminding us that our ancestors were capable of feats that challenge conventional historical assumptions. In the end, astronomical alignments at Stonehenge force us to confront the extraordinary capabilities of the people who built it. The monument is not merely a collection of stones, it is a map of the heavens, a record of cosmic observation, and a testament to human curiosity and ingenuity. Each alignment, each sunrise and sunset, tells a story of precision, planning, and reverence for forces larger than oneself. And as we continue to uncover these connections, we are reminded that Stonehenge is not simply a relic of the past. It is a bridge between the earth and the cosmos, a monument that continues to inspire wonder, speculation, and a deep sense of mystery that no explanation can fully contain. Beneath the surface of Stonehenge lies a world largely invisible to the casual observer, a hidden landscape of pits, ditches, post holes, and buried structures that suggests the monument is only the tip of a much larger, enigmatic system. For centuries, archaeologists focused primarily on the towering stones themselves, marveling at their scale and precision while largely overlooking what lay beneath the earth. It wasn't until the advent of modern technology, including ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and LiDAR mapping, that researchers began to uncover the full complexity of this subterranean world. What they found has shocked scientists, revealing that Stonehenge was never an isolated construction but the centerpiece of a vast, carefully planned ceremonial and ritual landscape. The first significant discovery beneath the surface came in the form of the so-called Aubrey holes, a series of circular pits located around the outer perimeter of the monument. Named after John Aubrey, the 17th century antiquarian who first documented them, these pits have been subject to endless debate. Early theories suggested they might have held timber posts, stones, or even cremated remains, but their true purpose remains uncertain. Recent excavations indicate that some of the holes may have contained bluestones before they were moved to their current positions, hinting at a dynamic, evolving construction process. This revelation raises profound questions. Were the builders experimenting with placement, following an unknown ritual, or encoding information that we are still too limited to decipher? Even more astonishing are the hidden features revealed beneath the surrounding landscape. Surveys have uncovered hundreds of pits, post holes, and burial sites, extending far beyond the visible monument. These include evidence of elaborate ceremonial pathways, enclosures, and henge that suggest a level of planning and organization previously unimagined. The sheer scale of this underground network challenges the notion of Stonehenge as a simple stone circle. It appears to have been the heart of an intricate system designed for ritual, observation, and possibly even social coordination, connecting multiple sites across miles of the Wiltshire Plain. Each buried feature hints at ceremonies, gatherings, and practices that were intimately tied to the stones themselves. One of the most intriguing discoveries is a series of massive pits, some over 2 meters wide, located in the surrounding landscape. Analysis suggests that these pits were not random. They were placed with deliberate alignment, possibly corresponding to celestial events or seasonal cycles. Some researchers propose that they were markers for astronomical observations, extending the precision of the above-ground monument into the Earth itself. Others suggest they may have held symbolic or spiritual significance, serving as receptacles for offerings, remains, or sacred objects. The presence of these pits reinforces a growing realization. Stonehenge was a multidimensional site, where the visible stones were only one layer of a far more complex and mysterious design. Burials discovered beneath and around Stonehenge add yet another layer of intrigue. Cremated human remains have been found in some of the pits, indicating that the site functioned, at least in part, as a place of death and remembrance. Yet the distribution and arrangement of these burials are unusual, suggesting ritualistic practices that are difficult to interpret. Were these individuals of special status, shamans, or members of a priestly class? Or were the burials symbolic, representing ancestral connections or cosmic alignments? The evidence hints at a spiritual framework deeply embedded in the landscape, one in which life, death, and the cosmos were intricately intertwined. Technological advances in recent decades have allowed archaeologists to map previously hidden ditches and trenches, revealing that Stonehenge is surrounded by concentric features that extend for miles. These discoveries suggest that the monument was part of a carefully choreographed experience, guiding visitors along specific paths, through ceremonial spaces, and toward the stones themselves. It is as if the builders intended not only to create a visual spectacle but also to orchestrate a physical and spiritual journey, a pilgrimage that unfolded in both space and time. The hidden elements beneath the surface are integral to understanding this journey, offering clues that the stones alone cannot provide. Another astonishing aspect of the subterranean landscape is the evidence of timber circles, long since decayed, which were discovered through post-hole patterns. These circles predate the sarsen stones and indicate that Stonehenge evolved over time, with successive phases of construction and redesign. This challenges the perception of the site as a single, static monument and instead paints a picture of a dynamic location, continuously adapted to serve the changing needs, beliefs, and knowledge of its builders. The interplay between stone and timber, visible and hidden, creates a multidimensional puzzle, one that spans centuries and reflects an extraordinary depth of planning. The underground features also provoke speculation about lost knowledge and forgotten rituals. Could these buried structures have been used for ceremonies conducted out of sight, where only the initiated could access their secrets? Were they designed to amplify acoustic, spiritual, or energetic effects, interacting with the stones above to create experiences that transcended ordinary perception? Modern science has begun to explore these possibilities, studying vibrations, magnetic anomalies, and subtle alignments within the landscape, yet many questions remain unanswered. The underground world beneath Stonehenge hints at a level of sophistication and intentionality that exceeds what conventional archaeology often assumes. Ultimately, the subterranean secrets of Stonehenge remind us that the monument is more than a stone circle. It is a layered, multidimensional enigma, where what is visible above ground is only part of the story. Each pit, post-hole, and burial contributes to a narrative that blends astronomy, ritual, engineering, and possibly lost knowledge. Every hidden feature challenges us to reconsider our understanding of Neolithic capabilities and the intentions of the people who shaped this landscape. The ground beneath Stonehenge is not silent. It whispers of ceremonies long forgotten, of knowledge encoded in earth and stone, and of mysteries that continue to defy explanation. Stonehenge, therefore, is not merely a monument to be observed but an entire environment to be experienced. Its underground secrets compel us to look deeper, to question assumptions, and to imagine the full scope of its purpose. And as we continue to peel back the layers, we realize that each revelation only increases the monument's mystery, reinforcing the notion that Stonehenge is a masterpiece of hidden complexity, crafted with vision, knowledge, and perhaps even wisdom that stretches beyond our comprehension. The question of how Stonehenge was constructed has perplexed historians, engineers, and archaeologists for centuries. To the modern eye, the monument seems almost impossible to have been built with the simple tools and techniques available to Neolithic peoples. The sarsen stones alone, some weighing upwards of 25 tons, required not only immense strength but also knowledge of geometry, physics, and logistics. Yet, somehow, the builders accomplished this feat with a precision that continues to astonish even the most experienced engineers. Each stone stands in deliberate alignment, interlocked with its neighbors, and perfectly positioned to create a harmonious and enduring structure that has survived millennia. How they did it remains one of the greatest enigmas of human history. Traditional theories suggest that the builders used simple tools such as wooden sledges, levers, and earthen ramps. Workers may have rolled the massive stones over logs, dragged them along lubricated pathways, or floated them on rafts across rivers. While these explanations are theoretically plausible, they require coordination, manpower, and endurance on a scale that challenges our understanding of Neolithic societies. Imagine hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals working in perfect unison over miles of uneven terrain, lifting, dragging, and precisely placing stones that defy intuition and gravity. The effort is staggering, and yet, there is no contemporary record of the methods employed, no blueprint, and no surviving testimony. We are left to marvel and speculate, piecing together theories from observation, experimentation, and imagination. One of the most confounding aspects of construction is the transportation of the bluestones from Wales, over 150 miles away. Unlike the local sarsens, these stones would have required a Herculean effort to move across rivers, hills, and forests, without the benefit of wheels or modern machinery. Some researchers have proposed that they were floated on rafts along the coast and then dragged inland, while others suggest a combination of sledges, rollers, and sheer manpower. Yet none of these explanations fully account for the efficiency, coordination, or precision involved. The journey alone is a testament to extraordinary human ingenuity, or, some argue, knowledge lost to time. Beyond transportation, the actual raising of the stones presents an even greater challenge. Positioning a multi-ton stone upright, then fitting a horizontal lintel perfectly atop vertical supports, requires careful planning, engineering skill, and an understanding of balance and leverage that seems improbable for a prehistoric society. Some experimental archaeologists have attempted to replicate the process using replica stones and traditional methods, only to find that it requires immense effort, coordination, and creativity. Every successful attempt underscores the brilliance of the original builders and highlights the mystery of how such techniques were conceived and perfected millennia ago. Alternative theories push the boundaries of conventional thinking. Even further, some suggest that the builders possessed advanced knowledge of levers, pulleys, and counterweights that was never passed down or recorded. Others speculate on lost technologies, perhaps techniques or tools that vanished with the society that created them. A small but persistent group of theorists even entertains the possibility of external influences, ancient civilizations with unknown methods, or even extraterrestrial assistance. While these ideas are controversial, they highlight a fundamental truth. The methods of construction remain largely unexplained, and the monument challenges assumptions about the technological capabilities of its builders. The precision of placement adds another layer of intrigue. The stones are not merely upright and aligned. Many are interlocked using mortise and tenon joints and tongue and groove fittings, techniques that require advanced planning, precise cutting, and an understanding of structural integrity. Achieving this with stone alone, using primitive tools, is nothing short of remarkable. The accuracy of the alignments, both for structural stability and astronomical observation, suggests that the builders were not only skilled laborists but also visionary engineers who understood the interplay of force, geometry, and the natural environment. Even more perplexing is the question of purpose influencing construction. Theories suggest that the monument was designed for astronomical observation, ritual practice, healing, or even energy amplification. If so, the builders were not only moving massive stones, they were encoding knowledge, symbolism, and function into every placement, every orientation, every alignment. Stonehenge becomes not just a feat of engineering but a multidimensional creation that fuses science, spirituality, and art. Each stone, each joint, each alignment may have been carefully calculated to achieve a purpose that transcends our immediate understanding, further heightening the mystery. Some researchers have proposed that the construction was iterative, evolving over centuries. Stones may have been repositioned, removed, or added as knowledge, ritual, and societal needs changed. This fluidity complicates our understanding but also suggests an advanced level of planning, record-keeping, and vision, even without written language. The builders may have been experimenting with different layouts, testing alignments, and responding to environmental or astronomical cues, making the construction process dynamic, sophisticated, and astonishingly advanced for a prehistoric society. The theories of construction also force us to reconsider the social organization of the builders. Coordinating the transport, placement, and alignment of hundreds of massive stones would require not only physical labor but also leadership, planning, and communication across a large group. This suggests a society with advanced social structures, knowledge transmission, and perhaps even a spiritual or hierarchical motivation to accomplish such an immense task. The scale of coordination needed to construct Stonehenge challenges the notion that Neolithic societies were simple or primitive, revealing a sophistication that defies traditional assumptions. Ultimately, the construction of Stonehenge remains a mystery that defies conventional logic. Every attempt to explain it, whether through simple labor, lost technology, or speculative theories, underscores the extraordinary capabilities of its builders. Stonehenge is more than a monument. It is a testament to human ingenuity, vision, and ambition, a puzzle that continues to challenge, inspire, and astonish those who dare to study it. Each stone, each alignment, and each joint invites us to question not only how it was built, but why, and what this implies about the people who dared to shape the earth in such a monumental way. Beyond the monumental scale, the precise alignments, and the mysterious construction of Stonehenge lies a lesser-known but equally captivating mystery: the possibility that the site was designed as a place of healing and energy. For centuries, visitors and researchers alike have been drawn to the stones not only for their historical significance, but also for the strange sensations and inexplicable phenomena reported by those who spend time among them. Some claim feelings of intense energy, sudden clarity, or even relief from chronic ailments when in close proximity to the stones. While these reports are often anecdotal, they hint at a dimension of Stonehenge that science has only begun to explore, a dimension where earth, stone, and human consciousness converge. The idea of Stonehenge as a healing site is not entirely new. Historical records from the medieval period describe pilgrimages to the monument, with visitors seeking remedies for various illnesses, both physical and spiritual. The bluestones, in particular, have been singled out for their purported restorative properties. These stones, transported from Wales over 150 miles away, may have been selected for more than their size or color. Some theorists suggest that their mineral composition or vibrational qualities could have been perceived as medicinal or spiritually potent. Modern researchers investigating the acoustic and energetic properties of the stones have found that certain bluestones resonate with frequencies that can produce a calming or stimulating effect, hinting at a deliberate choice by the builders. The arrangement of the stones themselves may also play a role in energy dynamics. Some theorists argue that the circular configuration, combined with precise spacing and alignment, could create zones of electromagnetic or vibrational concentration, intentionally or otherwise. These energy centers might explain why visitors report unusual sensations at specific points within the monument. While mainstream science remains cautious, emerging fields like geophysics and biofield studies provide frameworks for exploring how natural formations might influence human perception and well-being. The possibility that Stonehenge was designed with these energetic considerations in mind opens a realm of speculation that blends archaeology, spirituality, and physics. Healing theories are further supported by archaeological findings of burials and ceremonial artifacts. Cremated remains found in pits around Stonehenge suggest that the site held deep spiritual significance, potentially related to rites of passage, purification, or connection to ancestral forces. Some researchers propose that the monument's creators believed in the stone's ability to bridge the physical and spiritual realms, offering restoration and transformation to those who engaged with the site. In this view, Stonehenge becomes not just a calendar or observatory but a sanctuary, a place where the boundaries between human and cosmic energy blur. Ancient cultures around the world often recognize the connection between certain stones and healing or spiritual power. In Egypt, Mesopotamia, and South America, megalithic structures were frequently linked to sacred energy, ritual cleansing, or astronomical observation. Stonehenge, in this global context, may represent a similar understanding, a deliberate attempt to harness natural and cosmic forces for human benefit. The transport of bluestones over long distances could have been motivated not only by ceremonial or symbolic reasons but also by a belief in their inherent potency, their ability to carry energetic or spiritual power to the site. Modern experiments with the stones have added intriguing, if inconclusive, evidence. Researchers measuring magnetic fields, subtle vibrations, and acoustics have identified anomalies in and around certain stones. These findings suggest that Stonehenge could create perceptible effects on the human nervous system or consciousness. While skeptics caution that psychological factors and expectation may play a role, the consistency of reported experiences across centuries and cultures lends weight to the idea that something extraordinary is occurring. Whether through material composition, structural design, or location, the monument appears to influence those who enter its circle in ways that defy simple explanation. The positioning of the stones relative to solar and lunar cycles may further enhance their perceived energy. Sunlight streaming through specific gaps at solstices and equinoxes creates dramatic visual effects, illuminating particular stones or casting intricate shadows that could have been interpreted as channels of energy or divine presence. The interplay of light, shadow, and human perception may have reinforced the monument's role as a healing or transformative space, blending sensory experience with spiritual intent. In this way, Stonehenge functions not merely as a physical structure but as a carefully orchestrated environment, designed to affect the body, mind, and spirit. Some alternative theorists take these ideas even further, suggesting that Stonehenge could have been a site for consciousness expansion or ritual initiation. The combination of resonant stones, precise alignments, and ceremonial architecture might have produced altered states of awareness, allowing participants to perceive dimensions beyond ordinary human experience. While such theories remain speculative, they highlight the monument's capacity to inspire wonder and exploration, reinforcing its reputation as a site where the known and unknown converge. Whether through spiritual intention, energetic properties, or a combination of both, the healing and energy aspects of Stonehenge add another layer of mystery to an already enigmatic monument. They challenge conventional archaeology to consider not only the physical and historical dimensions of the site, but also its experimental and perceptual significance. Stonehenge was more than a place of stones. It was a living environment, designed to engage the human body, mind, and spirit, drawing individuals into a connection with forces both natural and cosmic. In the end, the theories of healing and energy at Stonehenge remind us that the monument is multidimensional. It is simultaneously an architectural marvel, an astronomical instrument, and a potential sanctuary for human well-being. Each stone, each alignment, and each hidden feature may have been selected and positioned not only for structural or ceremonial purposes but also to create an environment of profound effect on those who interacted with it. The energy of Stonehenge, whether literal, symbolic, or psychological, continues to resonate across millennia, leaving modern observers to wonder, what did the builders know that we are only beginning to grasp? And how much of Stonehenge's true power remains hidden, waiting for those who are willing to experience it? Among all the enigmas of Stonehenge, few are as puzzling and captivating as the origins of the bluestones. These smaller stones, many weighing up to 4 tons, were transported over 150 miles from the Preseli Hills in Wales, a feat that continues to baffle archaeologists, engineers, and historians alike. While the Sarsens, massive stones sourced locally, pose immense logistical challenges on their own, the journey of the bluestones is particularly perplexing because it requires not only transport across rugged terrain but also careful selection and placement. Why these stones? And how did ancient people accomplish such an extraordinary feat without the technologies we take for granted today? The answers remain elusive, wrapped in mystery, speculation, and awe. The bluestones are not uniform. They vary in size, shape, and geological composition. Some are dolerite, known for its density and durability, while others are rhyolite or sandstone, each chosen with a precision that suggests careful consideration rather than random selection. Some researchers speculate that the stones were chosen for their symbolic significance, possibly for their color, texture, or resonance. The bluish hue, visible when wet, may have held special spiritual or ritualistic meaning, suggesting that the selection process was not purely practical but deeply intentional. Every stone seems to have been handpicked, reflecting a worldview in which natural properties and spiritual significance were intertwined. How the stones were transported remains one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Early theories suggested human manpower alone, with stones dragged on sledges or rollers, floated on rafts along rivers, and carefully maneuvered over hills and valleys. Experiments attempting to replicate this feat have demonstrated that it is physically possible but would have required extraordinary coordination, resources, and determination. Thousands of individuals would have been involved, working in unison over weeks, months, or even years to move these stones to their destination. The scale of effort implies not only technical ingenuity but also a social and organizational sophistication that challenges assumptions about Neolithic communities. Some alternative theories propose even more extraordinary explanations. Could the bluestones have been moved with techniques now lost to history? Might there have been advanced knowledge of leverage, buoyancy, or mechanical devices that did not survive into later eras. Fringe theories even suggest the possibility of levitation, magnets, or other unknown forces, reflecting the awe and incredulity that the feat inspires. While such ideas are speculative, they underscore the profound difficulty of explaining the transport of the bluestones using conventional methods alone. Whatever the answer, the journey of these stones represents a testament to human ambition and ingenuity on a scale that continues to astonish. Geologists have traced the exact quarries from which the bluestones originated, confirming that each stone was sourced from a specific location within the Presilai Hills. This finding raises further questions. Why go to such extraordinary lengths to retrieve stones from such a distant site? Some researchers argue that the bluestones held symbolic significance to the builders, possibly representing ancestral lands, spiritual power, or mystical properties associated with their origin. Others suggest that the stones may have been valued for their unique acoustic or energetic properties, chosen for their resonance, density, or ability to transmit vibrations. Whatever the reason, it is clear that these were not random choices. The stones were deliberately and carefully selected for a purpose that remains partially hidden to this day. The journey of the bluestones also hints at a connection between Stonehenge and other ancient sites. Megalithic constructions in Wales, Brittany, and other parts of Europe exhibit similarities in design, stone selection, and alignment, suggesting that knowledge and tradition may have been shared across regions. The transportation of the bluestones could represent a tangible link between distant communities, a demonstration of skill, dedication, and shared cultural or spiritual understanding. It raises the possibility that Stonehenge was part of a wider network of sacred sites, interconnected through both geography and purpose, each contributing to a larger, mysterious system of prehistoric knowledge. The placement of the bluestones within Stonehenge further deepens the mystery. Unlike the massive sarsens, which form the outer circle and trilithons, the bluestones occupy the inner circles, arranged with intricate precision. Some stones appear to have been repositioned multiple times over centuries, reflecting a deliberate process of adjustment, experimentation, or ceremonial evolution. This suggests that the builders were not simply concerned with moving the stones, they were creating a living monument, one that evolved over time to fulfill a purpose that may have been ceremonial, astronomical, or energetic. Each bluestone's journey, from quarry to placement, embodies a narrative of human ingenuity, spiritual vision, and enduring mystery. The bluestones also reveal secrets about Neolithic beliefs and practices. Their presence indicates that the builders valued not only physical scale but also symbolic meaning, suggesting an understanding of the interplay between stone, space, and human perception. Some researchers have proposed that the bluestones were believed to have healing or magical properties, aligning with broader theories of Stonehenge as a site of energy and transformation. Others suggest that the stones' origin and transport were ritualized, turning the act of moving them into a ceremonial journey in its own right. In any case, the bluestones reflect a consciousness that blends practicality, symbolism, and spiritual insight in ways that continue to inspire wonder. Finally, the mystery of the bluestones reminds us that Stonehenge is not merely a construction. It is a story, a puzzle, and a testament to human ambition. Each stone carries with it a journey, a history, and perhaps even a message encoded by those who understood the significance of every choice. The distance traveled, the selection of materials, and the careful placement all speak to a vision that transcends the ordinary, revealing a society capable of feats that challenge our assumptions about prehistoric humans. The bluestone's origins are more than a geological fact. They are a symbol of mystery, ingenuity, and the enduring allure of Stonehenge itself. In contemplating the journey of the bluestones, we are forced to confront the extraordinary achievements of our ancestors and to acknowledge how much remains hidden. Every mile they traveled, every alignment and placement, every choice made along the way points to knowledge, purpose, and intention that modern observers are only beginning to grasp. The bluestones are more than stones. They are silent witnesses to a story that stretches across time, space, and human imagination, waiting for those willing to explore the mystery beneath their ancient, weathered surfaces. When most people imagine Stonehenge, they picture mysterious figures draped in robes, performing sacred rituals at sunrise or sunset, images popularized by myths, legends, and Hollywood interpretations. But the connection between the monument and religious leaders, such as druids or ancient priests, is more than fanciful storytelling. It may hold a key to understanding why this massive stone circle exists. While the exact identity of the builders remains unknown, evidence suggests that Stonehenge was a site of intense spiritual significance, where ritual, astronomy, and social hierarchy intersected. Ancient priests, shamans, or spiritual leaders likely played a central role in orchestrating activities, interpreting cosmic events, and maintaining the sacred function of the site. Historical records from later periods, particularly those from Roman and medieval sources, describe Druids as intermediaries between humans and the divine. While these accounts postdate Stonehenge construction by millennia, they provide a framework for imagining the kinds of ceremonial leadership that might have existed in Neolithic times. Druids were often associated with sacred groves, astronomical observations, and rituals designed to honor deities or ancestors. Stonehenge, with its carefully aligned stones and potential energy zones, would have been an ideal stage for such figures, providing both a physical and symbolic center for spiritual activity. It is plausible that a small group of trained individuals, priests, astronomers, or spiritual guides, oversaw the ceremonies, instructed participants, and ensured that rituals coincided with celestial events. The positioning and movement of the stones themselves suggest that rituals at Stonehenge were highly organized. The central trilithons and inner circles likely served as stages or focal points, where specific actions were performed according to the time of year or the alignment of celestial bodies. Priests or shamans may have been responsible for directing these activities, signaling the beginning of ceremonies, or determining when participants should enter or exit the sacred space. The coordination required implies a hierarchy, with spiritual leaders at the top, guiding not only religious practices but also the social and cultural functions of the monument. In this sense, Stonehenge was more than a monument. It was a theater of human experience, where sacred knowledge was enacted and transmitted. Archaeological evidence supports the idea that certain individuals held special status at the site. Cremated remains found in and around Stonehenge, sometimes accompanied by grave goods or unique artifacts, suggest that select members of the community were honored or consecrated in a ritual context. These individuals may have been spiritual leaders, visionaries, or those believed to possess special knowledge. Their proximity to the stones and the ceremonial arrangement of their burials indicate that the site was not simply public space but a center for sacred practice, controlled and interpreted by those with authority. The role of priests, therefore, may have been to manage both the spiritual and social dimensions of the monument, ensuring that its significance extended beyond mere observation to active participation in ritual life. Some researchers argue that the Druids or priests may also have served as custodians of knowledge, preserving information about astronomy, healing, and the natural world. Stonehenge's precise alignments suggest a sophisticated understanding of solar and lunar cycles, and it is likely that someone was responsible for tracking these movements and interpreting their significance. These leaders may have held knowledge that was considered esoteric or sacred, passing it down through oral tradition, apprenticeship, or ritual practice. In this way, the spiritual leaders of Stonehenge were not only religious figures but also astronomers, mathematicians, and scientists of their time, blending empirical observation with mystical understanding. The integration of ritual and astronomy at Stonehenge raises questions about the types of ceremonies conducted under the guidance of priests. Seasonal festivals, solstice celebrations, and lunar events may have served multiple purposes, reinforcing social cohesion, honoring deities or ancestors, and transmitting cosmic knowledge to the wider community. Some scholars suggest that healing rituals could also have been performed under the supervision of priests, taking advantage of the monument's unique acoustic and energetic properties. By combining ritual, astronomy, and potential healing practices, these ancient leaders created a multidimensional experience that engaged the mind, body, and spirit of participants, leaving an enduring imprint on those who took part. The Druids or priests may have also acted as intermediaries between the ordinary population and the sacred, interpreting signs, omens, or celestial phenomena to guide the community. In societies without written language, knowledge was often encoded in ritual and symbol, and Stonehenge itself may have functioned as a repository of wisdom. The monument's alignments, patterns, and hidden features could have been read and interpreted by those trained in the mysteries, with priests serving as the bridge between human perception and cosmic order. In this sense, the spiritual leaders were not merely performing ceremonies, they were decoding the universe, translating celestial patterns into human understanding and action. Legends and folklore surrounding Stonehenge reinforce the notion of its spiritual custodians. Later stories, including those collected by medieval chroniclers, describe magical and sacred qualities associated with the stones, often attributed to the work of Druids or mystical figures. While these accounts are centuries removed from the monument's construction, they may preserve echoes of older practices, reflecting a long-standing association between Stonehenge and spiritual authority. The persistence of these legends across time suggests that Stonehenge has always been more than a physical structure. It is a symbol, a stage, and a vessel for human belief, shaped and guided by those entrusted with its care. Ultimately, the role of druids and ancient priests at Stonehenge highlights the monument's function as a center of human culture, knowledge, and spirituality. They were likely the architects of ritual, the keepers of cosmic knowledge, and the intermediaries who connected the earthly with the divine. Without them, the alignment of stones, the timing of ceremonies, and the profound experience of the monument may never have achieved the depth and complexity that has captivated generations. Stonehenge was not merely constructed with stone, it was constructed with knowledge, intention, and sacred purpose, guided by those who understood its significance and ensured its legacy endured across millennia. Stonehenge, therefore, is as much a story of human wisdom, spirituality, and leadership as it is of engineering or astronomy. The presence of priests, shamans, or druids, whether literal or symbolic, reinforces the monument's role as a multidimensional creation, a place of power, observation, ritual, and transformation. Their invisible hand lingers in every stone, every alignment, and every hidden feature, reminding us that the monument was not built for mere admiration. It was built to be lived, experienced, and understood by those who could grasp its mysteries. Stonehenge has long captivated scholars, tourists, and conspiracy theorists alike, but recent excavations have unveiled secrets that are forcing historians and archaeologists to rewrite their understanding of this ancient monument. While the towering stones have been studied for centuries, the earth beneath and around them continues to yield astonishing revelations, challenging long-held assumptions and hinting at hidden complexities that were previously invisible. Using advanced technology such as ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and LiDAR mapping, researchers have uncovered a subterranean world that is as meticulously organized as the visible monument itself, revealing Stonehenge as not just a circle of stones but the centerpiece of a sprawling prehistoric landscape. One of the most shocking discoveries involves the intricate network of buried features surrounding Stonehenge. Excavations have revealed hundreds of pits, post holes, and ditches that extend well beyond the visible perimeter of the stones. Some of these features appear to be part of a deliberate pattern, possibly related to astronomical observation, ritual activity, or ceremonial pathways. The scale and organization of these underground elements are staggering, suggesting a level of planning and societal coordination previously unimagined for Neolithic communities. What was once assumed to be a simple monument is now understood to be part of a complex and highly sophisticated cultural landscape. Another groundbreaking revelation comes from the discovery of cremated human remains in some of the pits surrounding the monument. These burials, carefully arranged, suggest that Stonehenge served as a ceremonial or sacred center, possibly linked to ancestor worship, ritual purification, or other spiritual practices. The placement of these remains in relation to the stones and their alignments implies deliberate planning, indicating that certain individuals may have held special status or spiritual significance within the community. These findings challenge the notion that the site was merely an astronomical observatory or a calendar. It was also a deeply sacred space, imbued with ritual purpose and human meaning. Perhaps most astonishing is the evidence of earlier structures that predate the sarsen stones. Recent excavations have uncovered timber circles, pits, and post holes beneath the stone circles, suggesting that Stonehenge evolved over centuries through multiple phases of construction. This challenges the perception of the monument as a single, static creation and instead presents it as a dynamic site, continuously adapted to fulfill evolving spiritual, social, and astronomical needs. Each new layer of discovery reveals a civilization with remarkable ingenuity, vision, and an understanding of both the physical and symbolic dimensions of the landscape. The discovery of previously unknown pits and stone holes also raises profound questions about the original layout of the monument. Some of these pits appear to have contained stones that were later removed or repositioned, suggesting that the builders experimented with placement and design over time. This iterative construction process indicates not only technical skill but also an advanced understanding of geometry, alignment, and ritual significance. It is as if the site was a living project, continuously refined over centuries, with each adjustment reflecting a combination of practical, ceremonial, and possibly spiritual intentions. Ground-penetrating radar has also revealed hidden anomalies beneath the surface, including voids, raised features, and subtle alignments that were previously undetectable. Some of these may represent ritual pathways, hidden chambers, or ceremonial enclosures that extended the influence of Stonehenge across the surrounding landscape. The presence of such features suggests that the monument was designed to interact with its environment in complex ways, guiding movement, ritual, and observation across both visible and hidden dimensions. The discoveries hint at a society that understood the interplay between human activity and landscape in ways that modern researchers are only beginning to appreciate. In addition to physical discoveries, chemical and soil analyses have provided startling insights. Studies of buried materials reveal traces of burnt wood, organic matter, and even remnants of ceremonial fires, indicating that ritual activity may have involved offerings, purification rites, or symbolic transformations. Some of these fires may have been timed to coincide with celestial events, reinforcing the connection between the monument and cosmic cycles. Such findings provide a tangible link between the spiritual, astronomical, and social functions of Stonehenge, revealing a depth of sophistication that goes far beyond what had previously been imagined. Perhaps the most controversial discoveries involve evidence of even older human activity in the area surrounding Stonehenge. Flint tools, burial sites, and other artifacts suggest that the landscape had been used for ceremonial or settlement purposes long before the stones were erected. This continuity of use implies a deep, generational connection to the site, with successive communities adding to, modifying, or respecting an already sacred location. Stonehenge, therefore, is not simply the product of a single era or culture. It is the culmination of millennia of human attention, ritual, and ingenuity. The cumulative effect of these recent discoveries is staggering. Stonehenge can no longer be understood solely as a circle of stones. It is now recognized as a multidimensional, evolving site that encompasses astronomy, ritual, engineering, and social organization. Each new excavation adds layers of complexity, revealing that the monument was far more than a simple observatory or ceremonial center. It was a living, breathing entity in the cultural landscape, meticulously designed and continuously adapted by its builders. The monument is a testament not only to human skill but also to imagination, devotion, and a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual worlds. These revelations have forced scholars to reconsider everything from construction techniques to societal organization, ritual practice, and spiritual intent. Stonehenge is no longer a static relic of the past but a dynamic, evolving story written in stone, earth, and human effort. The recent excavations illuminate a civilization capable of extraordinary technical and conceptual achievements, challenging assumptions about Neolithic communities and their understanding of the world. Every pit, post hole, and buried artifact underscores the depth of knowledge, planning, and vision invested in the creation of the monument. Ultimately, the shocking discoveries from recent excavations reveal that Stonehenge is not a singular mystery but a layered enigma, with secrets embedded both above and below the ground. Each revelation invites new questions. What purpose did these hidden features serve? How were the celestial, spiritual, and social aspects of the site integrated? And what knowledge has been lost to time, leaving only tantalizing clues for modern researchers to interpret? Stonehenge continues to defy easy explanation, reminding us that even in the age of advanced technology, some mysteries remain stubbornly, beautifully unsolved. Stonehenge is not just a monument of stone and earth. It is a stage upon which ancient humans enacted rituals, ceremonies, and practices that have left subtle but undeniable traces in the landscape. Archaeologists have long suspected that the site served as a focal point for spiritual and ceremonial activity, but recent discoveries have provided compelling evidence that these rituals were far more elaborate and sophisticated than previously imagined. From cremations to ceremonial pits, from feasting remains to mysterious alignments, the archaeological record reveals a society deeply engaged in ritual practice, blending the physical and metaphysical in ways that continue to mystify modern observers. One of the clearest indicators of ceremonial activity is the presence of cremated human remains. Excavations have uncovered numerous burials, some carefully arranged in pits, others interred near significant stones or within concentric circles. The placement of these remains appears deliberate, suggesting a ritual context rather than casual disposal. The alignment of certain burials with solar or lunar events indicates that the timing and location of interments may have been influenced by astronomical observation, reinforcing the link between the heavens and the sacred practices on Earth. These findings hint at a culture that viewed life, death, and cosmic cycles as intimately connected, with rituals designed to honor and interact with those forces. In addition to human remains, archaeologists have found evidence of animal bones, pottery, and other artifacts that point to ceremonial feasting. Such feasts may have accompanied seasonal festivals, religious ceremonies, or rites of passage, serving both spiritual and social functions. The scale of these gatherings suggests that Stonehenge was not merely a local site but a regional center, attracting people from distant communities who came to participate in rituals and celebrate the cycles of life, death, and nature. The integration of food, drink, and communal activity within the sacred space demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of how ritual can reinforce social cohesion, spiritual practice, and collective identity. The stones themselves provide further evidence of ritual. Marks on certain bluestones and sarsens suggest that they were intentionally shaped, moved, or interacted with in ceremonial contexts. Some stones show signs of repeated contact, possibly indicating ritual touch, offerings, or symbolic gestures performed by priests or participants. The careful alignment of the stones with celestial events, such as solstices and lunar cycles, reinforces the idea that ritual timing was crucial, with the monument serving as a calendar, observatory, and sacred space all at once. The placement and treatment of the stones demonstrate that the builders were not only constructing a physical monument, but also orchestrating spiritual and ceremonial experiences that engaged both the participants and the cosmos. Archaeologists have also uncovered evidence of timber circles, post holes, and other ephemeral structures that suggest temporary ceremonial enclosures. These features indicate that rituals may have extended beyond the stone circle itself, incorporating the surrounding landscape into a larger sacred system. Pathways, ditches, and henge discovered in the vicinity point to carefully choreographed movement, guiding participants from one sacred area to another. This choreography suggests a deep understanding of space, symbolism, and human experience, reinforcing the notion that Stonehenge was not only a monument to the past but also a carefully designed stage for ritual drama. Some scholars propose that sound and acoustics played a role in the ceremonies. The arrangement of stones creates unique echo patterns and resonance, which may have amplified chants, drums, or other ritual sounds. Participants could have experienced altered perceptions, a sense of awe, or even states of trance as sound interacted with the space. If intentional, this acoustic dimension reveals a profound understanding of the relationship between environment and human experience, suggesting that rituals at Stonehenge were multisensory events designed to engage body, mind, and spirit simultaneously. The timing of rituals likely held extraordinary importance. Alignments with solstices, equinoxes, and lunar events indicate that the calendar of ceremonies was synchronized with celestial cycles. This precision allowed participants to mark seasonal transitions, agricultural milestones, or cosmological phenomena, embedding astronomical knowledge within the spiritual life of the community. The integration of cosmic timing into ritual practice reflects a culture in which the heavens were not distant abstractions but active participants in human life, guiding ceremonies and shaping experience in ways that we are only beginning to understand. Archaeological evidence also suggests that these rituals were deeply symbolic. Certain burial arrangements, the selection of specific stones, and the placement of artifacts may have encoded beliefs, cosmology, or sacred knowledge in a tangible form. Each action, from the lighting of ceremonial fires to the positioning of participants, may have carried meaning understood only by initiated members of the community, particularly priests or shamans. This symbolic complexity highlights Stonehenge not just as a monument but as a repository of knowledge, tradition, and spiritual practice, with every element serving multiple, layered purposes. Moreover, the persistence of ritual activity over centuries indicates that Stonehenge was a living monument, continually adapted to meet the spiritual and social needs of its users. Evidence of multiple construction phases, repositioning of stones, and additions to the ceremonial landscape suggests a dynamic site that evolved alongside the community, reflecting changing beliefs, knowledge, and cosmological understanding. Stonehenge was not static. It was a space where the past, present, and future converged, where every ritual contributed to the monument's ongoing significance and power. Ultimately, the evidence of ancient rituals and ceremonies at Stonehenge reveals a society deeply attuned to both the earthly and the cosmic. The site was a center of spiritual practice, communal gathering, and cosmic observation, where the boundaries between human and divine, visible and hidden, practical and symbolic, were intentionally blurred. Stonehenge was designed not merely to be seen but to be experienced, enacted, and remembered, a multidimensional stage for the rituals that shaped the lives, beliefs, and identities of those who built and used it. These revelations challenge modern observers to rethink the monument not simply as an architectural marvel but as a living, sacred space, carefully orchestrated to connect humans with the cycles of nature, the cosmos, and the spiritual realm. Every burial, every pit, every stone, and every alignment is a testament to the power of ritual and the enduring mystery of Stonehenge, inviting us to step closer to the ancient world and to consider the depth of knowledge, intention, and imagination that brought this extraordinary site to life. Stonehenge has long been celebrated as an architectural marvel, but its most profound mystery may lie not in its stones, but in the sky above them. For centuries, Researchers have been captivated by the monument's precise alignment with celestial events, suggesting that astronomy played a central role in the lives of those who built it. The solstices, equinoxes, and lunar cycles were not merely observed for practical purposes, such as agriculture. They were deeply integrated into ritual practice, shaping ceremonies, social organization, and the spiritual life of the community. At Stonehenge, the heavens were a living calendar, a sacred clock, and a guide for both human and cosmic interaction. The most famous astronomical alignment at Stonehenge occurs during the summer solstice, when the rising sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone and the central axis of the monument. On this day, sunlight streams into the heart of the stone circle, illuminating key stones and creating a dramatic spectacle that is both visually and symbolically striking. This alignment suggests that the builders possessed an intimate knowledge of solar movements, and that this knowledge was deliberately encoded into the structure. The summer solstice was likely a time of celebration, ceremony, and perhaps even spiritual renewal, as participants gathered to witness the sun's precise interaction with the stones. Winter solstice alignments are equally compelling. During the shortest day of the year, the setting sun aligns with different stones, marking the return of light and signaling seasonal change. These dual solstice events suggest a deep understanding of the solar cycle, with rituals likely timed to coincide with the sun's movements. Such ceremonies may have served multiple purposes: reinforcing social cohesion, marking agricultural milestones, honoring deities or ancestors, and connecting participants to the rhythms of the natural world. The alignment of Stonehenge with these events reflects a culture in which celestial phenomena were inseparable from human ritual, observation, and spiritual practice. Beyond the sun, lunar cycles also appear to have been considered in the design of Stonehenge. The monument's orientation and internal layout may correspond to key lunar events, including the extreme points of the moon's rising and setting. These alignments would have allowed ancient observers to track long-term lunar cycles, which could have been critical for timing ceremonies, predicting seasonal changes, or encoding spiritual knowledge. The incorporation of both solar and lunar phenomena into the monument demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, one that blends empirical observation with symbolic and ritual significance. Archaeologists have also discovered evidence suggesting that certain stones were chosen or positioned to act as markers for celestial observation. The arrangement of the blue stones and sarcens may have allowed for tracking the movement of the sun, moon, and even stars across the sky. Some stones appear to have been repositioned over time, potentially reflecting adjustments to maintain astronomical accuracy or to enhance ceremonial effects. This iterative process indicates that the builders were not merely constructing a static monument, but were creating a dynamic tool for celestial tracking and ritual, one that could evolve in response to the passage of time and the shifting cycles of the heavens. The integration of astronomy into ritual practices likely extended to social organization as well. Certain positions within the stone circle may have been reserved for priests, shamans, or elite members of the community who interpreted celestial events and guided ceremonial activity. These individuals would have acted as both observers and mediators, translating cosmic movements into human understanding, timing, and ritual action. In this sense, Stonehenge functioned not only as an observatory but also as a theater of cosmic interaction, where human behavior and celestial motion were inextricably linked. The alignment of Stonehenge with the heavens may also have held profound symbolic meaning. The rising and setting of the sun and moon could represent cycles of life and death, renewal and decay, or the eternal rhythm of the cosmos. Rituals timed to these events may have allowed participants to symbolically align themselves with these forces, engaging in acts of spiritual synchronization that connected the human experience to the larger universe. Stonehenge, thus, becomes a place where astronomy, spirituality, and human perception intersect, a multidimensional monument designed to embed cosmic knowledge into the lived experience of its participants. Some scholars have suggested that the astronomical knowledge encoded at Stonehenge may have been part of a broader system of prehistoric observation. Similar alignments have been noted at other megalithic sites across Europe, suggesting that knowledge of the heavens was shared, transmitted, and perhaps even ritualized across cultures. Stonehenge may have functioned as a central node within this network, allowing for the observation and ceremonial acknowledgement of key celestial events. The monument thus serves as both a local and regional center of cosmic understanding, reflecting a worldview in which astronomy, ritual, and human society were inseparably linked. Even the subtle interactions of light and shadow within Stonehenge suggest a sophisticated manipulation of visual effects. During solstices, equinoxes, or other significant astronomical events, sunlight and shadow would have dramatically altered the appearance of the stones, creating experiences that were simultaneously awe-inspiring, spiritual, and possibly transformative. Participants may have interpreted these visual effects as divine communication, signs of cosmic order, or confirmation of ritual success. The interplay of astronomy, architecture, and human perception underscores the monument's role as a carefully orchestrated environment, designed to connect the earthly and the celestial in ways that were both tangible and mystical. Ultimately, the role of astronomy in ritual practices at Stonehenge reveals a society deeply attuned to the cosmos, capable of integrating observation, ceremony, and spiritual belief into a unified experience. Stonehenge was more than a calendar or an observatory. It was a living monument, a stage for the enactment of celestial knowledge, and a tool for spiritual engagement. Every alignment, every shadow, and every interaction between sun, moon, and stone served to guide, inform, and inspire the participants, embedding the rhythms of the heavens into human consciousness. Through these practices, the builders of Stonehenge created a monument that continues to resonate across millennia, reminding us that the sky above is inseparable from the earth below, and that human ingenuity, ritual, and cosmic understanding can converge to create something truly extraordinary. Stonehenge is often admired for its scale, its mysterious stones, and its cosmic alignments, but equally astonishing is the mathematical and geometric sophistication embedded in its design. Every circle, arc, and alignment reveals a deliberate precision that seems to defy the technological limitations of its Neolithic builders. The monument's geometry is not random. It is a carefully orchestrated interplay of circles, triangles, and alignments that encode complex knowledge of proportion, symmetry, and measurement. Each calculation, whether of distance, angle, or orientation, suggests that the builders possessed an understanding of mathematics and geometry far beyond what one might expect from a prehistoric society. The circular layout of Stonehenge is perhaps its most immediately striking geometric feature. The outer Sarsen circle, composed of massive stones, forms a near-perfect ring that demonstrates meticulous measurement. Within this circle, the inner arrangements of bluestones create concentric patterns, sometimes in horseshoe shapes, other times forming subtle arcs. These patterns are not merely aesthetic. They appear to have been designed with precision, reflecting a knowledge of spatial relationships and the ability to translate abstract geometric concepts into tangible stone arrangements. This precision allows the monument to function not only as a ritual space but also as a tool for astronomical observation and ceremonial orchestration. Measurements of the stone's placement reveal ratios and distances that hint at advanced understanding of proportion. Some researchers have suggested that the builders employed a standard unit of measurement, sometimes referred to as the prehistoric yard, to ensure consistency across the monument. This level of standardization indicates not only technical skill but also the ability to plan and execute a project of extraordinary scale with remarkable accuracy. It is one thing to move massive stones. It is another to place them with mathematical consistency that aligns both geometrically and astronomically. The coordination required suggests that the builders were not simply laborious but mathematicians, engineers, and planners working in concert. The trilithons, the iconic structures of two vertical stones supporting a horizontal lintel, further demonstrate geometric sophistication. Each trilithon is carefully proportioned, with interlocking joints that require precise cutting, alignment, and placement. The lintels are positioned with incredible accuracy, creating a sense of symmetry and balance that has endured for thousands of years. The ability to construct such features using only stone, wood, and basic tools challenges modern assumptions about Neolithic engineering and highlights the builder's mastery of geometry and structural mechanics. Every joint, angle, and balance point reflects careful calculation, turning the monument into a testament to both mathematical knowledge and artistic vision. Even the spacing between stones exhibits mathematical intentionality. Archaeologists have noted that certain distances correspond to harmonic or proportional ratios, suggesting that the placement of each stone was guided by principles of symmetry and proportion. These ratios may have been intended to create aesthetic harmony, enhance acoustic properties, or reinforce symbolic or ritual significance. The interplay of measurement, alignment, and proportion transforms Stonehenge from a mere collection of stones into a three-dimensional expression of geometric knowledge, one that continues to astonish researchers and visitors alike. Some theories propose that Stonehenge encodes even more advanced mathematical concepts. The arrangement of stones may reflect knowledge of the Pythagorean theorem, the golden ratio, or other principles of geometry that are often associated with much later civilizations. While it is impossible to know the exact intentions of the builders, the alignment of the monument with circles, triangles, and other geometric patterns suggests that they possessed an intuitive or practical understanding of complex spatial relationships. This level of sophistication challenges conventional narratives about prehistoric societies and raises profound questions about the origins of mathematical knowledge. The combination of geometry and astronomy at Stonehenge is particularly striking. The precise angles and positions of stones allow for the observation of solstices, equinoxes, and lunar cycles, integrating mathematical calculation with celestial tracking. This dual functionality demonstrates that the builders were capable of applying abstract knowledge to practical and ritual purposes simultaneously. They were not only mathematicians but also astronomers and spiritual leaders, blending disciplines to create a monument that operates on multiple levels of meaning and function. The geometric precision of Stonehenge is inseparable from its role as a cosmic observatory and ritual space. The iterative nature of Stonehenge construction further highlights the role of geometry and mathematics. Evidence suggests that stones were repositioned, added, or removed over centuries, possibly to maintain alignment with celestial events or to refine proportions and patterns. This ongoing adjustment implies continuous observation, measurement, and recalibration, reflecting an advanced level of planning and knowledge transmission. The builders were engaged in a long-term project, one that required both patience and mathematical foresight, underscoring the sophistication of their intellectual and technical abilities. Even the smallest stones, the bluestones, demonstrate geometric intent. Their placement within the inner circles and horseshoe arrangements contributes to the overall symmetry, alignment, and proportionality of the monument. Each stone plays a role in creating harmonious patterns that are visible both aesthetically and astronomically. The precise arrangement suggests that the builders conceived of Stonehenge as an integrated system, where every element contributes to the whole, blending visual beauty, spatial order, and cosmic significance. Ultimately, the geometric precision and mathematical sophistication of Stonehenge elevate it from a monumental construction to a multidimensional masterpiece. It is a monument where numbers, angles, and ratios converge with ritual, astronomy, and human ingenuity to create a structure that is at once functional, symbolic, and awe-inspiring. Every circle, triangle, and alignment challenges our assumptions about prehistoric intelligence, revealing a civilization capable of conceptualizing and executing projects of extraordinary complexity. Stonehenge is not merely a collection of stones, it is a monument to human understanding, a geometric and mathematical marvel that continues to inspire wonder and debate across millennia. Stonehenge does not exist in isolation. Across the landscapes of Britain, Ireland, and continental Europe, countless other megalithic sites reveal striking similarities in design, purpose, and astronomical alignment, hinting at a vast network of prehistoric knowledge that stretches far beyond a single monument. From Avebury to Carnac, from Callanish to Newgrange, these sites share architectural features, stone arrangements, and ceremonial functions that suggest a deep, shared understanding of geometry, cosmology, and ritual practice. The connections between these sites raise profound questions. Were these cultures communicating ideas across hundreds of miles? Did they share a common spiritual framework, a cosmology, or an architectural language? Or were these parallels the result of convergent innovation, independent civilizations arriving at similar solutions to similar existential and ritualistic needs? Avebury, located just a short distance from Stonehenge, is perhaps the most famous nearby example of a megalithic complex. Its enormous stone circles, some of which dwarf even Stonehenge sarsens, indicate an understanding of geometry, alignment, and social organization on a comparable scale. Like Stonehenge, Avebury exhibits concentric rings, ceremonial pathways, and potential astronomical alignments, suggesting that the builders of both monuments were operating within a similar intellectual and cultural framework. Some researchers believe that these sites functioned as complementary nodes in a larger sacred landscape, each fulfilling specific ceremonial, astronomical, or social roles while remaining part of a coherent system of prehistoric observation and ritual. Beyond the British Isles, connections emerge with sites such as Carnac in Brittany, France. The Carnac alignments consist of thousands of standing stones meticulously arranged across rolling fields, forming linear rows and geometric patterns whose purpose remains largely mysterious. The similarities to Stonehenge, in terms of careful placement, astronomical consideration, and ceremonial potential, are striking. While there is no evidence that the builders of Stonehenge directly communicated with those of Carnac, the shared architectural and astronomical sophistication raises the possibility of a widespread prehistoric knowledge network. The precise meaning of these connections, whether spiritual, social, or practical, remains a subject of intense debate, but the patterns hint at an underlying continuity of purpose across time and space. Newgrange in Ireland offers another compelling comparison. This massive passage tomb, built nearly 5,000 years ago, predates Stonehenge and demonstrates extraordinary precision in alignment, particularly with the winter solstice sunrise. Each year, sunlight illuminates the inner chamber in a phenomenon that mirrors Stonehenge solstice alignments. This suggests that the builders of both monuments shared an intimate understanding of solar movements and an ability to integrate cosmic cycles into ceremonial architecture. Newgrange, like Stonehenge, blurs the boundaries between the practical, symbolic, and spiritual, revealing that megalithic knowledge was not localized but part of a broader prehistoric awareness of the heavens and their significance to human life. Callanish on the Isle of Lewis in Scotland provides yet another fascinating link. Its stone circles, avenues, and alignments exhibit remarkable similarities to Stonehenge, particularly in the interplay of geometry, ritual space, and astronomical observation. The careful placement of stones, the integration of pathways, and the alignment with solar and lunar phenomena suggest a shared cultural or ritualistic language across distant communities. These parallels indicate that the builders of these sites were not working in isolation but may have been part of a tradition or knowledge system that transcended geography, connecting diverse populations through shared understanding of the cosmos, sacred space, and ceremonial practice. The similarities extend beyond architectural and astronomical features. Many megalithic sites share evidence of ritualized activity, including burials, feasting, and offerings, reinforcing the idea that these monuments were central to spiritual and social life. Weather. In the form of cremation pits at Stonehenge, passage tombs at Newgrange, or alignments at Carnac, there is a recurring theme. Prehistoric people placed immense effort into creating spaces where humans could interact with the divine, the cosmos, and each other. The repetition of these elements across vast distances suggests a shared set of priorities, beliefs, or experimental needs that shape the construction of megalithic monuments. Some scholars have proposed that these connections may indicate early trade routes or networks of communication, through which ideas, techniques, and ceremonial knowledge were transmitted. The transport of bluestones from Wales to Stonehenge, for instance, implies long-distance coordination, resources, and expertise. It is plausible that similar networks facilitated the sharing of knowledge between distant communities, allowing architectural, astronomical, and ritual innovations to spread across regions. The interconnectedness of megalithic sites thus suggests a civilization, or a series of civilizations, with sophisticated social organization, spiritual depth, and a remarkable capacity for collaboration and knowledge transfer. Beyond practical or social explanations, some theorists suggest that these connections hint at a shared cosmology, a prehistoric worldview in which humans, stones, and the heavens were deeply intertwined. The repeated use of solstice and lunar alignments, geometric patterns, and sacred landscapes across sites implies that megalithic builders were guided by an understanding of the universe that merged observation, ritual, and belief. Stonehenge, in this context, becomes a single node within a vast symbolic and functional network, part of a prehistoric system designed to link human experience to cosmic order, natural cycles, and spiritual practice. The connections to other megalithic sites also reinforce the idea that Stonehenge was part of a living tradition, evolving over centuries and interacting with other monuments across time and space. The monument's design, construction, and purpose may have been informed by observations, techniques, and ceremonial practices developed elsewhere, reflecting a dynamic, iterative process that integrated local innovation with broader cultural knowledge. Each stone, alignment, and ritual element becomes part of a larger story, revealing a prehistoric civilization that was remarkably interconnected, both intellectually and spiritually. Ultimately, the connections between Stonehenge and other megalithic sites invite us to see the monument not as an isolated enigma, but as part of a sprawling prehistoric network of knowledge, ritual, and observation. These links hint at a civilization, or perhaps a series of cultures, that shared understanding, technical skill, and spiritual vision across vast distances. Stonehenge is a single chapter in a much larger, awe-inspiring story of human ingenuity, ritual sophistication, and cosmic awareness, a story that continues to unfold as archaeologists uncover new evidence, revealing the extraordinary reach and ambition of our ancestors. Standing slightly apart from the main circle of Stonehenge, the heel stone has long captivated archaeologists, historians, and curious visitors alike. Unlike the other massive sarsens that form the central trilithons and outer circle, the heel stone occupies a solitary position, yet its placement is no accident. From its very inception, this stone was meticulously positioned to interact with the rising sun during the summer solstice, creating a dramatic visual effect that has persisted for over 4 millennia. The heel stone is both a sentinel and a guide, marking the precise moment when the sun emerges over the horizon, illuminating the inner sanctum of the monument and signaling the start of sacred ceremonies. What makes the heel stone particularly mysterious is not just its alignment, but its deliberate isolation. Unlike other stones, it is positioned slightly outside the main circle, suggesting that it served a function separate from the central trilithons. Some researchers propose that the heel stone acted as a reference point, a marker for timing rituals and celestial observations with astonishing precision. On the morning of the summer solstice, sunlight passes directly over this stone, casting a long shadow toward the center of the monument. This alignment creates a natural pathway of light, guiding participants and marking a moment of cosmic significance. The effect is both awe-inspiring and meticulously calculated, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of solar movement. Geological studies reveal that the heel stone is composed of a local sarsen, yet its sheer size, nearly 16 feet tall, and precise positioning imply intentionality and careful planning. Transporting, erecting, and orienting such a massive monolith would have required immense effort, coordination, and engineering skill. Unlike the bluestones, which were transported from distant Wales, the heel stone's local origin does not diminish the challenge. Its alignment demands perfect placement and leveling, ensuring that it fulfills its cosmic function. This stone, solitary yet central to the monument's design, embodies the intersection of engineering, astronomy, and ritual. The heel stone's role extends beyond marking the summer solstice. Some researchers have suggested that it may have functioned as part of a broader system of sightlines, aligning with other features in the surrounding landscape. Hills, ditches, and additional stones may have been intentionally integrated into the system, creating a network of visual and astronomical connections that extend far beyond the circle itself. The stone may have acted as a gateway, a cosmic pointer directing the attention of participants towards celestial events while reinforcing the sacred geometry of the site. Its solitary position enhances its function, allowing unobstructed interaction with the sun and the broader landscape. Archaeological investigations also suggest that the heel stone may have held symbolic or spiritual significance beyond its practical function. Its isolation and prominence could represent a boundary between the mundane and the sacred, marking the threshold of entry into the spiritual heart of Stonehenge. During solstice ceremonies, participants may have processed along the alignment created by the heel stone, using its shadow and position to orient themselves and experience a ritualized connection with the cosmos. In this way, the stone acts as both marker and mediator, bridging human activity and celestial phenomena in a tangible, immersive experience. The heel stone's alignment is so precise that it raises profound questions about the astronomical knowledge of the Neolithic builders. Observing the sun's exact position on the horizon requires careful tracking of the solar cycle over months or even years. Builders would have needed to understand the changing angles of sunlight, the shifting seasons, and the geometry of sightlines to achieve this level of accuracy. This suggests not only technical skill but also a conceptual understanding of the relationship between earth, stone, and sky, a knowledge system that merges practical observation with ritual and symbolic meaning. Interestingly, the heel stone may also interact with other celestial events beyond the summer solstice. Some researchers have proposed alignments with lunar extremes or specific star risings, implying a more complex role in a prehistoric observational network. While these hypotheses remain debated, the possibility that the heel stone served multiple astronomical functions adds layers of intrigue to its purpose. It is not merely a stone, it is a timekeeper, a marker, and a symbolic interface with the universe. The heel stone's visual impact should not be underestimated. From the center of Stonehenge, its presence dominates the horizon during solstice sunrise, drawing the eye and framing the light in a way that emphasizes the monument's sacred geometry. Its height, isolation, and precise alignment create a theatrical effect, transforming the rising sun into a ritual spectacle that would have captivated participants. In this sense, the heel stone functions as both instrument and stage, shaping human perception, guiding ritual, and reinforcing the monument's cosmic significance. Legends and folklore surrounding Stonehenge often highlight the heel stone, attributing magical properties or divine origins to it. Medieval chroniclers speculated that it marked the entrance to sacred spaces or had powers associated with the sun. While such accounts are centuries removed from the monument's construction, they may preserve echoes of ancient beliefs, hinting at the stone's continued significance across generations. Its role in ceremonies, combined with its astronomical precision, demonstrates that the heel stone was far more than a passive marker. It was an active participant in the rituals and beliefs of prehistoric communities. Ultimately, the heel stone embodies the intersection of astronomy, ritual, and human ingenuity at Stonehenge. Its placement, alignment, and visual impact reveal a society capable of extraordinary observation, calculation, and symbolic expression. It is a single stone, yet it shapes the experience of the entire monument, directing light, guiding ritual, and connecting humans to the cosmic order. The heel stone reminds us that every element of Stonehenge, from the largest trilithon to the smallest bluestone, was deliberately conceived and carefully executed, creating a monument that continues to inspire wonder and provoke questions about the knowledge, vision, and spirituality of its builders. Beneath the monumental stones of Stonehenge lies a world that is largely invisible to the casual observer, a hidden dimension that has only recently begun to reveal its secrets. For centuries, researchers focused primarily on the visible structures, the towering sarsens, the inner bluestones, and the intricate arrangements that define the iconic stone circle. However, advances in technology such as ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR scanning, and magnetometry have uncovered a vast subterranean network of features, including pits, post holes, cavities, and anomalies that suggest a hidden layer of Stonehenge far more complex than anyone could have imagined. These discoveries challenge the notion that the monument is merely a collection of stones. Instead, it appears to be a multidimensional site, with its power and purpose extending below the surface. One of the most intriguing findings is a series of previously undetected pits and voids that lie beneath the stone circle. These subterranean features vary in size and shape, with some appearing as deliberate chambers or enclosures, while others resemble foundations or markers. The arrangement of these hidden structures is neither random nor haphazard. Patterns emerge that suggest careful planning, ceremonial intent, or practical function. Archaeologists speculate that these pits could have served multiple purposes: burial spaces, ritual containers, or symbolic representations of cosmic or spiritual concepts. The presence of these features beneath the ground transforms Stonehenge from a visible monument into a layered landscape of hidden meaning and purpose. Chemical and soil analyses have provided further evidence of activity in these underground spaces. Traces of burnt wood, ash, and organic matter suggest that fires may have been conducted within or near the pits, possibly as part of ritual ceremonies. Some researchers believe that these hidden chambers could have functioned as spaces for purification, initiation, or secret rites, accessible only to select members of the community, such as priests or shamans. If so, Stonehenge would not merely have been a public ceremonial site. It would have had a private, mystical dimension, reserved for those with specialized knowledge or spiritual authority. The idea of hidden chambers adds an entirely new layer of intrigue, hinting at rituals and practices that remain largely lost to time. Magnetometry surveys have also revealed anomalies suggesting the presence of buried stones or structural remnants that are no longer visible above ground. These features could represent earlier phases of construction, abandoned alignments, or symbolic elements deliberately concealed. The possibility that Stonehenge contains hidden or forgotten stones challenges our understanding of its construction timeline and raises questions about how the site evolved over centuries. Each buried element, each anomaly, adds depth to the monument's narrative, indicating that what we see on the surface is only part of a much larger, more complex creation. Some researchers speculate that these subterranean features may have been used for astronomical observation. Cavities or pits could have acted as sightlines, marking the position of the sun, moon, or stars at critical points in the year. By incorporating these hidden elements, the builders of Stonehenge may have created a multidimensional observatory, one that integrated visible stone arrangements with underground markers, enhancing both precision and ceremonial significance. This dual-layer design, visible and hidden, earthly and subterranean, demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of the environment and the cosmos, blending practical observation with spiritual symbolism. The discovery of hidden features also raises fascinating questions about the sound and energy of Stonehenge. Some researchers have hypothesized that subterranean cavities could amplify sound, creating acoustic effects that enhanced ceremonies or rituals. The resonance of drums, chants, or ritual incantations may have been shaped by the underground architecture, adding a sensory dimension to the spiritual experience. Such an intentional use of hidden spaces to manipulate sound would suggest that the builders were not only astronomers and engineers but also perceptive observers of human perception and experience. The interplay of sight, sound, and space underscores the monument's complexity and the depth of planning invested in its design. Additionally, excavations have revealed that some hidden chambers may have been associated with burials or ritual offerings. Small pits containing cremated human remains, animal bones, or artifacts have been uncovered in close proximity to the main stones. These findings indicate that Stonehenge was not only a ceremonial site but also a sacred repository, where life, death, and spiritual practice intersected. The presence of subterranean burial spaces hints at an intimate connection between the visible and hidden, suggesting that what occurs above ground was mirrored, complemented, or sanctified below. These chambers, therefore, are not just structural anomalies. They are vital elements of the monument's spiritual and ceremonial architecture. The hidden features beneath Stonehenge also suggest a timeline of evolution and adaptation. Some chambers and pits predate the current stone arrangement, indicating that the site underwent multiple phases of construction and ceremonial use. Others may have been added or modified over centuries, reflecting changing ritual needs, spiritual beliefs, or astronomical priorities. This dynamic development implies that Stonehenge was not a static monument but a living, evolving complex, shaped by generations of builders, observers, and ritual practitioners. The subterranean mysteries add depth, both literally and figuratively, to our understanding of this extraordinary site. Ultimately, the hidden chambers and subterranean features of Stonehenge deepen the monument's mystique and expand our understanding of its function and significance. Far from being merely a visible circle of stones, Stonehenge emerges as a layered, multidimensional site, combining above-ground spectacle with hidden, secretive spaces that shaped ritual, observation, and spiritual experience. Each pit, void, and buried structure hints at lost knowledge, esoteric practices, and a prehistoric society capable of remarkable ingenuity. Stonehenge subterranean mysteries remind us that the monument's true power may lie not only in what can be seen, but in the secrets that remain buried, waiting for future generations to uncover their meaning. Among the many mysteries surrounding Stonehenge, perhaps none is as tantalizing and controversial as the notion that the monument itself may have been imbued with mystical or healing properties. Long before modern archaeology attempted to decode the practical or astronomical functions of the site, legends and folklore hinted at an almost supernatural power emanating from the stones. Ancient texts, medieval accounts, and local myths describe the bluestones as possessing the ability to cure ailments, restore vitality, and even influence human consciousness. These stories, though often dismissed as fanciful, raise intriguing questions about the spiritual and symbolic significance of Stonehenge. Was it simply a ritual site, or did its builders intentionally harness metaphysical forces? The theory of healing powers largely centers on the bluestones, smaller stones brought from the Preseli Hills in Wales, some 150 miles away from the site. While their mineral composition and origin suggest that their selection was far from arbitrary. The idea that the stones were chosen for specific energetic or symbolic characteristics, rather than simply for size or availability, aligns with the broader pattern of careful design seen throughout Stonehenge. The healing stone theory, therefore, may not be purely mystical. It could reflect an ancient understanding of natural properties, ritual symbolism, and human psychology. Some researchers also propose that Stonehenge's healing functions were communal and social as well as metaphysical. Rituals conducted at the site, whether healing ceremonies, seasonal festivals, or spiritual observances, would have fostered a sense of collective well-being and cohesion. The act of gathering at a sacred space, performing structured rituals, and participating in symbolic gestures could itself have therapeutic effects, reinforcing the perception of the stone's powers. In this sense, the monument's mystical reputation may be both literal and symbolic, blending observable outcomes with spiritual and psychological experience. The healing stone theory also intersects with the broader function of Stonehenge as a sacred landscape. Water sources, pathways, burial sites, and astronomical alignments all suggest a holistic design, in which the monument, the surrounding terrain, and the movement of celestial bodies were integrated to produce transformative experiences. The stones themselves may have served as anchors for these experiences, concentrating ritual activity, energy, and intention. Participants may have perceived enhanced health, vitality, or spiritual insight as a result of engaging with the site in these ways, reinforcing the belief that the stones possessed extraordinary properties. While skeptics argue that such claims are purely speculative, the combination of folklore, ritual evidence, mineral composition, and careful spatial design cannot be easily dismissed. Whether the effects were literal, symbolic, or psychological, the perception of the stones as agents of healing underscores the profound reverence in which Stonehenge was held. The monument emerges as not merely an architectural or astronomical achievement, but as a spiritual and experimental environment, designed to engage the body, mind, and soul. Ultimately, the healing stone theory adds a deeply human dimension to the mystery of Stonehenge. It reminds us that the monument was not only a technical marvel or an astronomical tool, but also a sacred space where ancient people sought comfort, vitality, and connection to the cosmos. The bluestones, the arrangements, the rituals, and the legends all point to a society capable of perceiving and harnessing forces, whether physical, spiritual, or psychological, that we are only beginning to understand. In this sense, Stonehenge remains a living mystery, a place where the boundary between the material and the mystical continues to inspire awe and wonder. For decades, Stonehenge has captured the imagination not only of archaeologists and historians but also of those who look to the skies for answers. Among the most provocative and controversial theories surrounding this ancient monument is the notion that extraterrestrial beings may have played a role in its construction. Proponents of the alien influence theory argue that the sheer scale, precision, and sophistication of Stonehenge exceed what would have been possible for Neolithic humans, suggesting the intervention or guidance of advanced intelligence from beyond our world. While mainstream archaeology largely dismisses these ideas as speculative, the theory continues to captivate the public, feeding a narrative of forbidden knowledge, hidden history, and cosmic connection. Supporters of the theory point first to the technical challenges involved in moving and erecting the massive sarsens and bluestones. Some of the bluestones, weighing up to 4 tons, were transported from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. The methods available at the time, primitive. Sledges, ropes, and brute human strength, pose enormous logistical questions. The precision placement of these stones, their alignment with celestial events, and the interlocking joints of the trilithons add layers of complexity that proponents argue could suggest external guidance or knowledge beyond what the prehistoric builders might have possessed. They claim that such sophistication hints at intervention from beings with advanced understanding of engineering, geometry, and astronomy. Another argument made by proponents revolves around the monument's astronomical alignments. Stonehenge's precise correlation with solstices, equinoxes, and lunar cycles demonstrates advanced observational skill. Alien theorists argue that this knowledge, encoded in stone, implies either contact with or inspiration from beings who possessed an understanding of celestial mechanics far beyond the era's capabilities. The idea is that such extraterrestrial influence could have provided the blueprint or knowledge necessary to construct a monument that functions simultaneously as an observatory, ritual center, and calendar. While skeptics attribute these achievements to careful observation and trial-and-error ingenuity, proponents see something almost impossible in the convergence of technical precision, geometry, and cosmic alignment. Theories of alien involvement are further fueled by unexplained features within Stonehenge construction. Certain stones show wear patterns or tool marks that some claim cannot be explained by Neolithic technology. Proponents suggest these features could indicate advanced cutting techniques, laser-like precision, or other methods unknown to humanity at the time. Additionally, the monument's hidden underground features, pits, and anomalies, recently revealed through radar and scanning technologies, add to the mystique. Could these chambers and voids serve as landing markers, energy conduits, or communication devices for visitors from beyond Earth? While highly speculative, such ideas resonate with those fascinated by the intersection of ancient history and cosmic mystery. Theories of alien influence also draw upon global parallels. Stonehenge is not the only ancient site associated with advanced construction and astronomical alignment. The pyramids of Egypt, the megalithic structures of South America, and other prehistoric monuments worldwide share features that some claim could not have been achieved with contemporary technology. Proponents argue that these similarities may indicate a shared source of knowledge, possibly extraterrestrial, or repeated visits from beings capable of guiding or influencing human construction. The idea suggests that humanity's most enigmatic monuments may be part of a broader pattern of interaction between humans and cosmic visitors, a hidden history that challenges conventional narratives. Ancient texts, folklore, and myth also play a role in the alien hypothesis. Legends of gods, sky beings, and supernatural teachers abound in cultures worldwide, and some theorists interpret these stories as distorted accounts of real encounters with extraterrestrial visitors. In the context of Stonehenge, myths of stones with mystical powers, magical construction, or celestial significance could be seen as echoes of knowledge passed down from otherworldly sources. Even medieval chroniclers' accounts of Merlin transporting stones using magical or impossible means are cited as potential evidence of ancient memory preserving extraordinary events or technology. Critics argue that these theories underestimate the ingenuity, observation skills, and determination of Neolithic humans. They point out that Stonehenge construction techniques, while impressive, are within the realm of possibility using human ingenuity, organization, and centuries of incremental development. Archaeological evidence of tool use, transportation methods, and gradual evolution of the monument demonstrates that prehistoric societies were capable of extraordinary feats without extraterrestrial assistance. Yet, the allure of alien intervention persists, partly because it offers a sensational explanation that satisfies the imagination and resonates with the monument's air of mystery. The alien theory also taps into the human fascination with forbidden knowledge. The idea that ancient civilizations may have been guided, or even overseen, by extraterrestrial intelligence challenges our understanding of history, prompting us to question the limits of human achievement. It adds a layer of cosmic intrigue to Stonehenge, framing it as not just a monument of Neolithic society but as a nexus of universal or interstellar significance. Whether or not one accepts the theory, it forces a reconsideration of human potential, history, and our place in the cosmos. Some proponents go further, speculating on the purpose of such extraterrestrial influence. Could Stonehenge have been a marker, a beacon, or a communication device designed to align with celestial energies? Could it have served as a staging ground for teaching humans advanced mathematics, astronomy, or spiritual practices? While speculative, these ideas emphasize the monument's multidimensional complexity, reinforcing the perception that Stonehenge is more than a mere circle of stones. It is a focal point of mystery, power, and knowledge, bridging the earthly and the cosmic. Ultimately, whether one views the alien influence theory as plausible or fantastical, it reflects the enduring fascination with Stonehenge as a site of impossible knowledge and enigmatic purpose. The monument continues to inspire wonder, debate, and speculation precisely because it transcends ordinary explanation. Stonehenge's technical precision, astronomical alignment, and spiritual significance make it a perfect canvas for imagining connections between humanity and the cosmos. It invites us to question what is known, to explore what is hidden, and to consider the possibility that our ancestors glimpsed truths that modern society is only beginning to understand. Stonehenge has long been celebrated for its monumental stones, precise geometry, and celestial alignments, but a growing body of research suggests that sound, its resonance, echo, and amplification, may have played an equally important role in the monument's function. Recent acoustic studies reveal that the arrangement of the stones creates unique auditory effects, from subtle reverberations to harmonic resonances, suggesting that the builders understood the interaction between stone, space, and sound. The careful placement of massive sarsens and bluestones, the concentric circles, and even the post holes and subterranean cavities all contribute to a soundscape that would have been profoundly immersive for those participating in rituals or ceremonies. In this sense, Stonehenge was not only a visual and astronomical marvel but also a finely tuned acoustic instrument. Acoustic researchers have discovered that certain frequencies are amplified when sounds are produced within the stone circle. Claps, chants, or drumming may have echoed through the monument in ways that heightened ritual experience, creating an eerie, otherworldly ambience. The stones themselves appear to interact with these sounds, producing vibrations that could have been felt physically as well as heard. This suggests that the Neolithic builders were deliberately creating spaces where participants could experience sound as an active, transformative force, one that may have induced trance-like states, heightened spiritual awareness, or communal unity. Sound, in this context, becomes an invisible but powerful component of Stonehenge's design, merging architecture, ritual, and sensory perception. The bluestones, in particular, have been shown to resonate when struck. Archaeologists and experimental researchers have noted that these smaller stones, transported from Wales, produce tones that vary depending on their size, shape, and composition. Some theorists propose that these resonant qualities were intentionally utilized in ceremonial practices, turning the stones into instruments of sound. Participants may have engaged in rhythmic chants, drumming, or ritualized movement that interacted with these tones, creating a multisensory experience that reinforced spiritual and social cohesion. The possibility that Stonehenge functioned as a giant resonating chamber adds a dramatic layer to its mysteries, suggesting that the monument was designed to be heard as much as it was to be seen. The geometry of Stonehenge contributes significantly to its acoustic properties. The circular arrangement of the sarsens and inner bluestones allows sound waves to travel in predictable patterns, amplifying some frequencies while dampening others. Certain pathways and alignments may have been chosen to create deliberate acoustic effects, guiding sound toward the center of the monument or toward specific stones. This acoustic architecture could have enhanced ceremonies, creating a sense of awe, spiritual presence, or cosmic alignment as sound interacted with the space. The experience of sound at Stonehenge would have been immersive, enveloping participants in vibrations that reinforced the monument's symbolic and ritual power. Subterranean features, recently revealed by ground-penetrating radar, may have played an additional role in acoustics. Pits, voids, and cavities beneath the stones could have acted as natural resonators, amplifying or modulating sound. These hidden elements suggest that the monument was designed not only to align with celestial events, but also to manipulate the sensory experience of those within it. Rituals performed at specific points in the circle or in relation to these hidden chambers could have created intense auditory phenomena, further enhancing the perceived power of the stones. The interplay of visible and hidden architecture highlights the sophisticated understanding of sensory design possessed by Stonehenge builders. Some researchers have also speculated that sound at Stonehenge had therapeutic or mystical functions. Vibrations produced by chanting, drumming, or interaction with resonant stones may have been perceived as physically or spiritually restorative. Participants could have felt these vibrations in their bodies, deepening the connection between human experience and the monument structure. In this sense, sound may have been an intentional medium for healing, spiritual attunement, or altered states of consciousness, complementing the visual and astronomical aspects of the site. The idea that Stonehenge was both seen and heard as part of its ritual impact underscores its multidimensional sophistication. Experiments in modern acoustics have demonstrated that certain arrangements of Stonehenge stones produce resonance at frequencies associated with human speech or chant. This suggests that the builders may have understood, at least intuitively, how the placement of massive stones could interact with human vocalization. Imagine a priest or shaman performing chants that resonate through the stone circle, their voice amplified and enriched by the very architecture of the monument. Participants in these ceremonies would have experienced a profound auditory effect, heightening the monument's perceived spiritual power and connecting them to the cosmic or metaphysical dimensions represented by the stones. The role of sound also intersects with the visual and astronomical components of Stonehenge. During solstices and other key celestial events, the interaction of sunlight, shadow, and sound would have created a multisensory environment. Imagine the rising sun illuminating the heel stone while chants or drumming reverberate across the circle, the vibrations resonating through the ground and stones. This combination of sight, sound, and cosmic alignment would have produced a profoundly immersive experience, engaging the senses and the psyche in a ritualized connection to the universe. Stonehenge was not just a place to observe the heavens, it was a space to experience them with the body and soul. Ultimately, the acoustic properties of Stonehenge reveal yet another layer of sophistication in its design and purpose. The monument emerges as a multidimensional instrument, blending visual, auditory, and astronomical elements into a single, immersive environment. Sound, like the sun and the stars, becomes part of the ritual, shaping perception, guiding ceremony, and enhancing spiritual experience. The careful orchestration of acoustics underscores the ingenuity and intentionality of the Neolithic builders, reminding us that Stonehenge was not merely a static monument but a living, resonant space, designed to engage and transform all who entered it. Stonehenge has long fascinated scholars and enthusiasts alike not only for its monumental stones and mysterious alignments, but also for its potential role as a sophisticated prehistoric calendar. While the exact purpose of the monument remains a topic of debate, mounting evidence suggests that the builders were keenly attuned to the cycles of the sun, moon, and possibly even the stars, integrating this knowledge into the placement of stones with astonishing precision. From the massive heel stone marking the summer solstice sunrise to subtle alignments that track lunar extremes, Stonehenge appears to function as a complex instrument for measuring the passage of time. The idea that a Neolithic society could create such an accurate and enduring timekeeping system challenges conventional assumptions about prehistoric intelligence. The heel stone, positioned just outside the main circle, is perhaps the most famous timekeeping feature of Stonehenge. On the morning of the summer solstice, sunlight passes directly over this stone, illuminating the inner sanctum in a display that is both ceremonial and practical. For the ancient builders, this alignment would have provided a precise marker for the longest day of the year, signaling seasonal transitions essential for agriculture, ritual cycles, and social organization. But the heel stone is only one part of a larger network of alignments. Other stones and features of the monument are oriented to correspond with sunrise and sunset during key solar events, indicating that the monument functioned as a full-year calendar, capable of tracking both solstices and equinoxes with remarkable accuracy. In addition to solar markers, evidence suggests that Stonehenge may have been used to track lunar cycles. Certain stones appear to align with the moon's extreme rising and setting points, known as lunar standstills, which occur approximately every 6 years. These alignments would have required long-term observation, careful measurement, and precise placement, highlighting the builder's capacity for both patience and astronomical sophistication. By tracking lunar as well as solar cycles, Stonehenge could have functioned as a tool for predicting eclipses, planning agricultural activities, or coordinating religious and ceremonial events. Its dual solar-lunar functionality transforms the monument into a comprehensive calendar, bridging human activity with celestial rhythms. The spatial arrangement of the stones further underscores the monument's timekeeping potential. The concentric circles, trilithons, and inner horseshoe patterns appear to have been carefully calculated to create sightlines for observing celestial events. From specific points within the circle, one can witness the rising and setting of the sun or moon along predetermined axes, as if the stones themselves were markers on a cosmic clock. This precision suggests that the builders possessed not only technical skill but also an intimate understanding of geometry and measurement, capable of translating abstract celestial cycles into tangible, functional stone arrangements. Some researchers propose that Stonehenge may have been used to reconcile solar and lunar calendars, a challenge that even modern civilizations struggle to perfect. The apparent alignment of certain stones with both solar and lunar phenomena hints at an understanding of the complex relationship between these cycles, allowing the builders to predict seasonal and astronomical events with accuracy. Such functionality would have been invaluable for agricultural planning, ensuring that planting, harvesting, and ritual activities were synchronized with the natural world. In this sense, Stonehenge may have been both a sacred site and a practical tool, blending ritual significance with temporal precision. Stonehenge's calendar functions extend beyond the major solstices and lunar standstills. Some researchers have identified potential alignments with other celestial events, such as the rising of specific stars or constellations associated with seasonal changes. These observations suggest that the monument may have served as a multi-purpose astronomical observatory, capable of tracking a wide range of celestial phenomena. The integration of solar, lunar, and stellar markers transforms Stonehenge into a sophisticated instrument for understanding the cosmos, demonstrating that the Neolithic builders were not only keen observers but also highly analytical in their approach to timekeeping. The complexity of Stonehenge as a calendar also reflects the long-term evolution of the site. Archaeological evidence indicates that the monument was constructed over several phases, with stones added, repositioned, or realigned to improve accuracy or reflect changing astronomical knowledge. This iterative process suggests that the builders were actively refining their timekeeping system, observing celestial events over decades and adjusting the monument to optimize its functionality. The evolution of Stonehenge underscores the intellectual investment, foresight, and observational rigor required to create a prehistoric calendar of such enduring precision. Importantly, Stonehenge's timekeeping capabilities would have had profound cultural and spiritual implications. By marking solstices, equinoxes, and lunar cycles, the monument allowed communities to synchronize their activities with the natural world, reinforcing the connection between humans, the cosmos, and the divine. Seasonal festivals, agricultural cycles, and ritual ceremonies could all be timed with precision, creating a rhythm that integrated social life with celestial phenomena. In this way, Stonehenge functioned not only as a practical calendar but also as a sacred instrument, linking the mundane and the mystical through the measurement of time. Ultimately, the evidence suggests that Stonehenge was far more than a monumental stone circle. It was a sophisticated, multidimensional instrument for observing, measuring, and interacting with the cycles of the universe. Its solar, lunar, and potentially stellar alignments indicate a civilization capable of remarkable precision, astronomical understanding, and long-term planning. Stonehenge's function as a calendar and timekeeping device reveals the intellectual, spiritual, and practical ingenuity of its builders, challenging modern assumptions about prehistoric societies and highlighting the enduring mysteries of this extraordinary monument. It is a structure that not only honors the cosmos but also reminds us that the ancients were deeply attuned to the passage of time, the rhythm of the heavens, and the integration of human life with the celestial order. Stonehenge has not only fascinated archaeologists and historians, it has also captured the imagination of storytellers, mythmakers, and chroniclers for centuries. Long before modern science attempted to explain its construction or function, the monument was enveloped in layers of mythology and ancient lore, each narrative adding another dimension to its enigmatic presence. Across time, cultures have attributed supernatural origins, magical properties, and divine significance to Stonehenge, weaving it into stories that blend history, spirituality, and imagination. These myths and legends, though often removed from archaeological fact, reveal how humans have interpreted, revered, and sought to understand this prehistoric marvel. One of the earliest and most enduring myths comes from medieval sources, particularly Geoffrey of Monmouth, who wrote in the 12th century that Stonehenge was the work of the legendary wizard Merlin. According to this account, Merlin magically transported the stones from Ireland to their current location, creating a monument imbued with mystical power. While this story is fantastical, It reflects a deep cultural attempt to explain the impossible, how humans of the Neolithic era could have moved and arranged massive stones with such precision. Merlin's involvement elevates Stonehenge from a mere architectural achievement to a site of magical significance, reinforcing the idea that extraordinary knowledge and power were necessary to create it. Another strand of mythology portrays the stones themselves as animate or sacred beings. Folklore suggests that the blue stones possess inherent life force or magical energy, capable of healing, protection, or spiritual transformation. People traveled great distances to sit upon the stones or to witness rituals performed in their presence, believing that the monument held forces beyond human comprehension. These legends highlight the perception of Stonehenge as a living site, one that interacts with those who approach it, blurring the boundary between the material and the mystical. The stories of sentient or spiritually charged stones underscore humanity's enduring fascination with the monument as a source of mystery and power. Celtic mythology also contributed to the aura surrounding Stonehenge. Druids, though historically associated with a period long after Stonehenge construction, were thought to have used the site for rituals, ceremonies, and astronomical observations. Accounts describe sacred rites performed at the monument, including solstice celebrations, seasonal festivals, and initiations. While direct evidence linking Druids to Stonehenge remains sparse, the association between the monument and these ancient spiritual leaders has persisted in folklore, enhancing the site's reputation as a place of divine connection and mystical authority. The mythic overlay reinforces Stonehenge's role as a focal point for human imagination and spiritual aspiration. Legends often emphasize the cosmic or celestial nature of Stonehenge. Many myths describe the monument as a gateway to the heavens, a conduit between earth and the divine, or a map of the stars. Some accounts suggest that the stones were positioned to harness celestial energies, capturing the movement of the sun, moon, and stars for ritual or divinatory purposes. These stories reflect a human tendency to interpret extraordinary architectural and astronomical feats as evidence of supernatural insight, framing Stonehenge as a place where cosmic forces intersect with human life. The blending of astronomy and mythology underscores the monument's role as both a practical and symbolic interface with the universe. Another recurring theme in ancient lore is the idea that Stonehenge embodies a lost or forbidden knowledge. Some legends suggest that the monument was built by ancient civilizations possessing advanced wisdom, possibly lost to the sands of time. This aligns with later theories of alien influence or secret spiritual knowledge, reflecting humanity's fascination with hidden truths and mysteries. Stonehenge becomes a repository of ancient understanding, a puzzle to be deciphered, and a symbol of humanity's quest to connect with forces greater than itself. The myths reinforce the monument's enigmatic status, suggesting that its full significance remains elusive and perhaps intentionally concealed. In addition to legends of magical construction and sacred power, Stonehenge is also embedded in folklore associated with death, the afterlife, and spiritual transformation. Some myths describe the site as a place where souls ascend, spirits dwell, or rituals of passage are performed. Archaeological evidence of burials, cremations, and ceremonial pits lends weight to these stories, suggesting that prehistoric communities may have indeed used the monument in ways that intersected with spiritual beliefs about life and death. The intertwining of myth, ritual, and archaeology demonstrates how folklore can preserve echoes of real practices, even when the stories themselves are embellished with supernatural elements. The resonance of Stonehenge in mythology is not confined to the British Isles. Across Europe, megalithic monuments are often linked to similar legends of magical stones, cosmic alignment, and sacred rites. This widespread mythic motif points to a shared human impulse to explain, revere, and mythologize monumental architecture that transcends ordinary understanding. Stonehenge, as one of the most iconic of these monuments, has become a global symbol of mystery, capturing the imagination of successive generations and inspiring stories that continue to evolve today. Ultimately, Stonehenge's place in mythology and ancient lore enriches our understanding of its significance. Beyond its astronomical, architectural, and archaeological functions, the monument exists as a cultural and spiritual symbol, a canvas upon which human imagination and aspiration have been projected for millennia. Its myths convey awe, reverence, and curiosity, reflecting our desire to connect with forces larger than ourselves and to find meaning in the extraordinary. Stonehenge, therefore, is not only a prehistoric marvel but also a living narrative, a monument to the interplay of human ingenuity, cosmic wonder, and the enduring power of story. Stonehenge has fascinated explorers, scholars, and adventurers for centuries, but it was the systematic archaeological excavations of the 20th and 21st centuries that truly began to peel back the layers of mystery. surrounding this enigmatic monument. Early investigations, often rudimentary by modern standards, revealed only glimpses of the monumental effort and sophisticated planning that went into constructing Stonehenge. As techniques improved and scientific rigor increased, archaeologists began uncovering a wealth of information that challenged assumptions, reshaped timelines, and opened entirely new avenues of inquiry. Every trench dug, every soil sample analyzed, and every artifact uncovered brought the monument's history into sharper focus while simultaneously deepening its mysteries. One of the most groundbreaking discoveries came from the detailed mapping and stratigraphic analysis of the site. Excavations revealed that Stonehenge was not a single-phase project, but rather the result of multiple construction phases spanning centuries. Initial work focused on earthworks and circular ditches, while subsequent phases saw the erection of bluestones and massive sarsens arranged with astronomical precision. This phased construction suggests a continuity of purpose, with successive generations refining and expanding the monument's functions, whether ceremonial, astronomical, or ritualistic. Each layer of excavation provided tangible evidence that Stonehenge was a living, evolving project rather than a static, one-time construction. Perhaps the most sensational discoveries relate to the so-called Aubrey holes, a series of 56 pits encircling the stone circle. Initially uncovered in the 1920s by archaeologist William Hawley, their purpose remained uncertain for decades. Recent studies suggest that these pits may have been used for ritualistic purposes, possibly holding timber posts, stones, or even cremated remains. The careful spacing and alignment of the Aubrey holes indicate that they were not random features but deliberate components of the site's ceremonial and astronomical framework. These holes reveal a level of planning and symbolic intent that underscores the complexity of Stonehenge and hints at practices that may forever remain partially obscured by time. Advancements in technology, particularly ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and magnetometry, have revolutionized our understanding of Stonehenge. These non-invasive methods have revealed extensive subsurface features, including previously unknown pits, buried stones, and traces of wooden structures. Remarkably, these discoveries suggest that the monument was part of a larger ceremonial landscape, with connections to surrounding henges, avenues, and ritual sites. The subterranean elements indicate that Stonehenge's significance extended far beyond what is visible above ground, hinting at a multi-layer design that incorporated both physical and spiritual dimensions. Every hidden cavity, post hole, and anomaly uncovered adds to the sense that Stonehenge was meticulously designed to integrate the seen and unseen, the tangible and the symbolic. Archaeologists have also uncovered evidence of human activity dating back thousands of years before the erection of the famous sarsens and bluestones. Flint tools, pottery shards, and evidence of early settlements indicate that the site was part of a long continuum of human occupation and ritual activity. This context is crucial for understanding Stonehenge not merely as an isolated architectural marvel but as a focal point within a broader prehistoric landscape. The accumulation of artifacts and features reveals a society deeply attuned to its environment, capable of sophisticated observation, and invested in creating a monument that served multiple purposes: astronomical, ceremonial, and communal. Breakthrough discoveries in burial practices at Stonehenge have also provided startling insights. Excavations have uncovered cremated human remains, sometimes placed in small pits or carefully arranged within the monument structure. Analysis of these remains offers clues about the people who constructed and used the site, including their health, diet, and social structure. The association of burials with specific stones or features hints at ritualistic significance, suggesting that Stonehenge was not only a public ceremonial site but also a sacred space for honoring ancestors or facilitating spiritual journeys. These findings reinforce the notion that Stonehenge functioned as a multidimensional monument, blending the practical, the symbolic, and the metaphysical. The discovery of long, curving avenues connecting Stonehenge to distant sites such as the River Avon has further expanded our understanding of the monument's context and purpose. These avenues may have served as processional routes for ceremonies, linking Stonehenge to water sources and other ritual landscapes. The orientation and construction of these pathways suggest a deliberate integration of natural features into the sacred architecture, emphasizing movement, ritual performance, and symbolic connectivity. The monument was not a static structure but a dynamic space where landscape, architecture, and human activity interacted to create profound sensory and spiritual experiences. Scientific analysis of the stones themselves has yielded additional breakthroughs. Petrographic and geochemical studies confirm that the bluestones originated from the Preseli Hills in Wales, while the larger sarsens were sourced locally. Understanding the origins and transport of these massive stones has provided insight into the extraordinary logistical achievement required to construct Stonehenge. Combined with alignment studies and excavation data, these findings reveal a society capable of remarkable engineering, long-term planning, and sophisticated ritual integration. Every new discovery adds another layer to the monument story, highlighting the interplay of human ingenuity, natural resources, and spiritual vision. Perhaps most remarkably, these excavations continue to uncover surprises even today. Recent surveys have identified a network of pits, hidden post holes, and buried features that were previously unknown, suggesting that Stonehenge remains only partially explored. Each new finding challenges assumptions and sparks fresh theories, reinforcing the monument's status as a living puzzle that continues to fascinate both researchers and the public. The ongoing nature of archaeological work reminds us that Stonehenge's secrets are not fully revealed, and that every trench, scan, or analysis has the potential to reshape our understanding of this prehistoric wonder. Ultimately, the archaeological excavations and breakthrough discoveries at Stonehenge reveal a monument of staggering complexity and enduring mystery. From the visible sarsens and bluestones to the hidden pits, post holes, and subterranean anomalies, every element contributes to a layered narrative of ritual, astronomy, and human ingenuity. Excavations demonstrate that Stonehenge was not merely a static or symbolic creation, but a dynamic, evolving space that integrated observation, ceremony, and community. Each discovery adds to our appreciation of the monument, reminding us that Stonehenge is not only an architectural marvel but a timeless testament to human creativity, curiosity, and the enduring quest to understand the cosmos. Stonehenge is not just a monument of stone, it is a celestial observatory encoded in rock, designed to interact with the movements of the heavens. From the earliest studies of the monument, researchers noticed that the stones are precisely aligned with the sun, the moon, and even distant stars. These alignments suggest that the Neolithic builders had an advanced understanding of astronomical cycles, far beyond what one might expect from a prehistoric society. Every stone, every gap, and every orientation appears to have been chosen with meticulous care, creating a site that functions both as a sacred space and as a sophisticated astronomical instrument. The role of astronomy at Stonehenge is not incidental. It is central to understanding why this monument was built, how it was used, and what it meant to those who constructed it. The most famous astronomical feature of Stonehenge is its alignment with the solstices. On the summer solstice, sunlight passes directly over the heel stone and illuminates the center of the monument, while during the winter solstice, the sun sets in perfect alignment with specific stones. These events would have been of profound importance to Neolithic people, marking the changing seasons and guiding agricultural cycles, ceremonial events, and communal gatherings. The precision of these alignments suggests careful long-term observation and a deep understanding of the solar cycle. Stonehenge was not just a passive monument, it was an active tool for tracking the passage of time, a calendar etched in stone that allowed humans to harmonize their lives with the cosmos. Lunar alignments at Stonehenge are equally fascinating. Researchers have identified specific stones that correlate with the moon's extreme positions, known as lunar standstills, which occur every 18.6 years. These alignments are subtle but deliberate, indicating that the builders were capable of long-term astronomical prediction and observation. By tracking both solar and lunar cycles, Stonehenge could serve as a comprehensive calendar, predicting eclipses, tracking seasonal changes, and possibly guiding ceremonial rituals. The combination of solar and lunar markers elevates Stonehenge from a simple stone circle to a multidimensional observatory, capable of integrating multiple celestial cycles into a single, coherent system. The arrangement of the stones also reflects an understanding of geometry and spatial relationships in relation to astronomy. Trilithons, horseshoe-shaped arrangements, and concentric circles create sightlines that frame the rising and setting of the sun and moon at key times of the year. From specific points within the monument, observers could witness celestial events with extraordinary accuracy. Some researchers suggest that these sightlines may have been used to track not only the sun and moon but also the positions of stars, marking seasonal or ceremonial significance. Stonehenge, in this sense, becomes a three-dimensional celestial map, a tool for measuring the heavens and understanding the cosmos. Astronomy at Stonehenge was likely intertwined with ritual and spiritual practice. The alignment of stones with celestial events would have created awe-inspiring experiences for participants, particularly during solstices, equinoxes, and lunar standstills. Imagine a priest or community leader standing within the circle as the sun rises or sets in perfect alignment with the stones, while the congregation witnesses a display that appears orchestrated by the cosmos itself. These moments of celestial synchronization would have reinforced the spiritual authority of ritual leaders and deepened the communal connection to the universe. Stonehenge's astronomical design was not only scientific but also profoundly symbolic, connecting human activity to cosmic order. Recent research has suggested that Stonehenge builders may have used the monument to reconcile solar and lunar cycles, a challenge that even modern societies find complex. Certain stones and alignments may have functioned as markers to predict the synchronization of these cycles, which would have been essential for timing agricultural and ceremonial events. This level of astronomical sophistication implies sustained observation over decades, meticulous record-keeping, and a deep understanding of patterns in the sky. It is a testament to the Neolithic builders' intellectual capacity and their ability to integrate observation, ritual, and construction into a harmonious whole. Some researchers even speculate that Stonehenge may have functioned as a device to track longer astronomical cycles, such as the precession of the equinoxes or the movements of planets. While these theories remain speculative, they underscore the monument's role as a center of astronomical knowledge. Every stone, every gap, and every orientation may have had significance not only for marking immediate seasonal events but also for understanding longer-term cosmic patterns. In this way, Stonehenge becomes a bridge between the earthly and the celestial, a place where humans could observe, record, and engage with the rhythms of the universe. The integration of astronomy into Stonehenge design also reflects a broader prehistoric worldview, in which celestial events were deeply connected to human life, ritual, and spirituality. The sun, moon, and stars were not distant, abstract objects. They were central to understanding the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, as well as the timing of sacred ceremonies. Stonehenge, as a precisely aligned astronomical monument, allowed its builders to observe these cycles, interpret their significance, and integrate them into the spiritual and practical dimensions of daily life. The monument becomes a living observatory, a place where human experience is synchronized with the cosmic order. Ultimately, the role of astronomy at Stonehenge reveals a civilization of remarkable intellect, observation, and symbolic awareness. The alignment of stones with solar, lunar, and potentially stellar phenomena underscores the builder's capacity for long-term planning, meticulous observation, and profound understanding of celestial mechanics. Stonehenge was not a static monument but an active instrument, a sacred calendar, and a spiritual observatory, designed to integrate human life with the cosmos. Its astronomical function, combined with its architectural, acoustic, and ritual dimensions, cements Stonehenge as one of humanity's most extraordinary prehistoric achievements, a monument where science, spirituality, and wonder converge in stone. Stonehenge, with its towering stones and precise astronomical alignments, was not merely an observatory or calendar. It was a sacred space deeply entwined with the cycles of life and death. Excavations and historical research reveal that the monument played a central role in rituals that honored both the living and the dead, reflecting a worldview in which mortality and spirituality were inseparable. For the communities that built and used Stonehenge, the site was a threshold, a liminal space where human life intersected with cosmic rhythms, ancestral veneration, and the mysteries of existence. Every stone, pit, and pathway seems to have been carefully chosen to facilitate ceremonies that navigated the complex balance between life, death, and renewal. Archaeologists have uncovered compelling evidence of funerary practices at Stonehenge. Cremated human remains, dating back thousands of years, have been found in and around the monument, suggesting that the site served as a focal point for burial rituals. The careful placement of these remains in pits or near specific stones indicates that the act of interment was highly ceremonial, imbued with symbolic meaning. The presence of these burials within the sacred landscape reinforces the notion that Stonehenge was a space designed to mediate between the material and the spiritual, offering a physical location where the living could honor the dead and seek connection with ancestors. Some of the earliest burials at the site predate the construction of the massive sarsen stones, indicating that Stonehenge's function as a sacred space for life and death was established long before the monument reached its iconic form. These initial burials, often simple cremations placed in the surrounding earth, demonstrate a continuity of ritual that persisted for centuries. The monument, in its evolving phases, expanded this sacred purpose, creating an increasingly complex ceremonial environment in which life, death, and cosmic order were intertwined. Stonehenge, therefore, was not static but a dynamic ritual landscape, reflecting the spiritual and social priorities of successive generations. Rituals at Stonehenge appear to have been highly structured and symbolic. The circular arrangement of stones, pathways, and avenues suggests that movement through the site was a carefully choreographed experience. Participants in ceremonies may have walked along designated routes, pausing at key, stones or loci to perform acts of remembrance, offering, or prayer. The alignment of these pathways with celestial events, such as solstices or lunar standstills, imbued the rituals with cosmic significance. By integrating life and death ceremonies with the rhythms of the sun, moon, and stars, Stonehenge builders created a holistic spiritual experience that connected individuals to both the natural and supernatural worlds. The concept of transformation and rebirth was likely central to Stonehenge rituals of life and death. Cremation, a common practice at the site, symbolizes not merely the end of physical existence but the release of the spirit and its journey toward renewal. The monument itself, with its towering stones and precisely aligned structures, may have been designed to facilitate this transition, serving as a conduit between the earthly and the divine. By performing rituals within this sacred geometry, participants could experience a sense of continuity and cosmic order, reaffirming their place within the cycles of life, death, and regeneration. In addition to cremation burials, evidence suggests that Stonehenge may have hosted ceremonies marking the life cycle of the living. Seasonal festivals, solstice gatherings, and other rituals likely involved rites of passage, fertility celebrations, and communal observances. These events would have connected the community not only to the celestial order but also to each other, reinforcing social cohesion and shared spiritual beliefs. The monument's spatial design, with concentric circles, inner horseshoes, and carefully positioned stones, provided a stage for these rites, creating an environment that was at once awe-inspiring, participatory, and deeply symbolic. The interplay between the living and the dead at Stonehenge highlights the monument's role as a liminal space, a threshold between worlds. Participants in ceremonies would have been acutely aware of the presence of ancestors and the cycles of cosmic order, experiencing the monument as a bridge between mortality and eternity. The combination of astronomical alignment, acoustic resonance, and ritual choreography suggests that these ceremonies were multisensory experiences, engaging sight, sound, and movement to heighten spiritual awareness. In this way, Stonehenge functioned as both a physical and metaphysical environment, mediating life and death through ritual, observation, and participation. Archaeological discoveries also reveal that materials used in burial and ritual practices were carefully selected for symbolic significance. Ochre, quartz, and other minerals were often found in conjunction with cremations or ceremonial deposits, indicating that these substances may have held spiritual or ritual importance. The deliberate use of such materials reflects a sophisticated understanding of symbolism and ritual efficacy, further emphasizing Stonehenge's role as a sacred center for navigating life, death, and transformation. Ultimately, Stonehenge's function in the rituals of life and death underscores its multidimensional significance. It was simultaneously a monumental achievement in engineering, an astronomical observatory, and a sacred space for spiritual practice. By integrating funerary rites, ceremonial pathways, celestial alignment, and ritualized movement, the monument created an environment in which participants could engage with the cycles of existence on multiple levels. Stonehenge was more than stone and soil. It was a living spiritual ecosystem, a place where humans sought understanding, solace, and connection with the forces that govern life and death. Stonehenge's enduring power lies in its ability to convey the complexity of human existence across millennia. Even today, standing among its stones, one can sense the weight of centuries of ritual, the echoes of ancestors, and the meticulous care with which its builders aligned human life with the cosmos. The rituals of life and death at Stonehenge remind us that the monument was a bridge between the temporal and the eternal, a testament to humanity's enduring desire to understand, honor, and participate in the mysteries of existence. It is a place where life and death converge, where the mortal and the cosmic intersect, and where the ancient and modern worlds continue to meet in profound and unforgettable ways. Stonehenge stands as one of humanity's most extraordinary engineering feats, a monument that continues to baffle and inspire experts nearly 5 millennia after its construction. The scale, precision, and complexity of the site suggest a mastery of engineering that rivals even some of the earliest known civilizations. Every stone, every joint, and every alignment reflects careful planning, sophisticated problem-solving, and an intimate understanding of materials, forces, and human labor. What makes Stonehenge truly remarkable is not just the size of the stones, but the ingenuity required to transport, shape, and erect them in a precise arrangement that has endured through the centuries. The engineering marvels behind Stonehenge reveal a prehistoric society capable of feats that seem almost impossible, blending technical skill with visionary ambition. The first challenge the builders faced was sourcing and transporting the massive stones. The smaller bluestones, weighing up to 4 tons, were brought from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. Archaeologists continue to debate how these stones were moved, with theories ranging from timber sledges and rollers to river transport using rafts and manpower. Each method would have required extraordinary coordination, planning, and understanding of physics. The transportation of the sarcens, some weighing up to 25 tons and sourced from nearby Marlborough Downs, was equally daunting. Even over shorter distances, moving these colossal stones with limited tools and technology would have demanded ingenuity, teamwork, and an unparalleled grasp of leverage, friction, and balance. Once the stones arrived at the site, shaping and positioning them presented another engineering challenge. Experimental archaeologists have demonstrated that Neolithic tools, such as stone hammers, chisels, and antler picks, could have been used to carve and smooth the stones, yet the precision achieved is astonishing. The trilithons, pairs of upright stones capped by horizontal lintels, required exact measurement to ensure stability. The mortise and tenon joints carved into the stones, designed to lock them together securely, reveal an advanced understanding of structural engineering. These joints not only stabilize the stones but also allow the monument to withstand the test of time, enduring earthquakes, weather, and millennia of natural erosion. The vertical placement of stones also required remarkable skill. Excavations reveal that builders dug deep holes, sometimes filled with rubble or packed earth, to anchor the uprights. The stones were likely levered into position using ropes, wooden frameworks, and sheer human coordination. Once upright, the lintels were raised and carefully maneuvered into place, resting on precisely carved sockets. This process demanded an extraordinary understanding of balance, weight distribution, and mechanical advantage. Considering that these techniques were employed without modern machinery, the precision and stability of Stonehenge construction remain one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world. In addition to transportation and placement, the alignment of stones with astronomical events represents another layer of engineering sophistication. The builders achieved precise orientation to the solstices, equinoxes, and lunar standstills, suggesting careful observation and measurement over decades. Some researchers propose that sighting markers, rudimentary plumb lines, and leveling techniques may have been employed to achieve such accuracy. The combination of heavy labor, precise engineering, and long-term planning highlights a society capable of both practical problem-solving and abstract astronomical reasoning, a remarkable duality that elevates Stonehenge from a simple monument to a complex, multidimensional achievement. Engineering at Stonehenge also extended to its acoustic and spatial design. Research indicates that the placement of stones and their arrangement within concentric circles created resonant properties, amplifying sound and enhancing ritual experiences. The Neolithic builders appear to have understood the interaction between space, material, and vibration, creating a monument that was as much an auditory instrument as a visual and astronomical one. This consideration of sound alongside structure and alignment underscores the holistic engineering vision embedded in Stonehenge, where multiple sensory dimensions were deliberately integrated into the design. The foundation work at Stonehenge further demonstrates an understanding of soil mechanics and long-term durability. Builders carefully prepared the ground for the stones, using layers of chalk, rubble, and packed earth to stabilize uprights and prevent sinking. The choice of location itself, on the slightly elevated Salisbury Plain, shows an awareness of terrain, drainage, and exposure, ensuring that the monument would remain structurally sound over centuries. Even with limited technology, the builders achieved a level of civil engineering sophistication that remains impressive by modern standards, particularly given the monument's endurance through millennia of natural wear and weathering. Another remarkable aspect of Stonehenge's engineering is its adaptability. Over time, the monument evolved through multiple construction phases, with stones moved, replaced, or reoriented to improve structural integrity or alignment. This iterative process reflects not only an understanding of engineering principles but also the capacity for long-term planning, observation, and problem-solving. The builders were able to respond to challenges, refine techniques, and enhance the monument's stability and functionality over decades or even centuries. Stonehenge was not a static construction but a living engineering project, refined and perfected by successive generations. The engineering feats of Stonehenge extend beyond physical construction to the organization and coordination of labor. Moving, shaping, and erecting the stones would have required hundreds, if not thousands, of people working in concert. Planning, communication, and logistical coordination were essential, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of project management. The ability to mobilize such resources, sustain labor over extended periods, and integrate multiple engineering disciplines into a coherent monument is a testament to the ingenuity, vision, and determination of the Neolithic builders. Ultimately, the engineering marvels behind Stonehenge reveal a civilization of extraordinary skill, foresight, and ambition. The monument's enduring stability, astronomical alignment, acoustic resonance, and structural precision testify to a comprehensive understanding of mechanics, materials, and spatial design. Stonehenge is not merely a prehistoric construction. It is a testament to human creativity, technical mastery, and the capacity to transform vision into enduring reality. Standing among its massive stones today, one cannot help but marvel at the ingenuity of a society that, without modern tools, created a monument that continues to inspire awe, provoke questions, and challenge our understanding of what ancient humans were capable of achieving. Stonehenge has long fascinated not only archaeologists and historians but also those drawn to the idea that ancient monuments may harness unseen energies. Beyond its astronomical alignments, acoustic properties, and architectural mastery, some researchers and theorists suggest that Stonehenge could have functioned as a focal point of energy, a place where natural, cosmic, or even mystical forces converge. While conventional science has yet to fully validate these claims, the concept of Stonehenge as an energetic site opens a provocative dimension of inquiry, blending geology, physics, and human consciousness. From subtle vibrations to geomagnetic anomalies, the monument may hold secrets that extend far beyond the visible stones. Proponents of ancient energy theories point to the unique geological composition of the bluestones and sarsens as a possible source of power. Bluestones, quarried from the Preseli Hills in Wales, are composed of dolerite, rhyolite, and other minerals that are known to produce piezoelectric effects under stress. In simpler terms, certain types of stone can generate small electrical charges when pressure is applied or when they interact with vibrations. While this phenomenon is well understood in modern physics, its potential significance in Neolithic times remains speculative. Some theorists propose that the builders of Stonehenge may have intuitively recognized the energetic properties of these stones, selecting them not only for their size and beauty but also for their ability to resonate or channel energy. Acoustic energy is another dimension that has drawn attention. Studies show that Stonehenge's configuration amplifies sound, creating resonances and vibrations that can be physically felt. Clapping, chanting, or drumming within the circle produces frequencies that interact with the stones in ways that could heighten sensory or even altered states of consciousness. In ancient rituals, this acoustic amplification may have been perceived as spiritual energy, reinforcing the sacredness of the space. The combination of geological and acoustic properties suggests that Stonehenge was not only a visual and astronomical marvel but also a site capable of generating a multidimensional sensory and energetic experience. Geomagnetic anomalies have also been observed in the vicinity of Stonehenge, prompting speculation about the monument's relationship to Earth's magnetic field. Certain stones appear to be magnetically charged, and some researchers have noted unusual readings at specific points around the site. While mainstream archaeology remains cautious, these findings have fueled theories that Stonehenge may have functioned as a center for energy work, divination, or healing. The notion that Neolithic builders could have intuitively harnessed such forces, without instruments or formal scientific knowledge, adds a layer of mystery and challenges conventional narratives about prehistoric societies. The layout of Stonehenge itself may reflect an intentional alignment with natural energy flows. The concentric circles, inner horseshoes, and avenue leading toward the river Avon suggest a deliberate orientation not only for astronomical observation but potentially for channeling subtle forces. Some theorists argue that Stonehenge sits atop energy ley lines, hypothetical lines of geomagnetic energy that crisscross the Earth's surface. According to these ideas, the placement of stones could have been designed to tap into or amplify these flows, creating a site where cosmic and terrestrial energies intersect. Whether or not one subscribes to the concept of ley lines, the patterning and precision of Stonehenge invite questions about intentionality, power, and energy that remain difficult to answer. Healing is another aspect often associated with ancient energy theories. Historical accounts and folklore suggest that people traveled to Stonehenge for physical and spiritual rejuvenation. The bluestones, in particular, were believed to possess curative properties. Some modern researchers have speculated that the combination of mineral composition, acoustics, and geomagnetic anomalies may have created an environment conducive to psychological or physiological effects, enhancing meditation, focus, or even perceived well-being. Stonehenge may have been a sanctuary where participants could experience transformation, whether through ritual, sensory engagement, or energetic resonance. The energy theories of Stonehenge are further enriched by comparative studies with other megalithic sites around the world. monuments such as the Egyptian pyramids, Karnak stones in France, and various stone circles in Scotland have all been associated with unusual energy phenomena. While the evidence varies, the recurring theme is that ancient civilizations may have been aware of the Earth's natural energies and sought to incorporate them into sacred architecture. Stonehenge, in this context, emerges as part of a global tradition of monument building that transcends mere utility, blending spiritual, cosmic, and energetic considerations into enduring stone structures. Critics of ancient energy theories argue that these ideas are speculative and often lack empirical evidence. Yet, the persistent allure of these concepts highlights the monument's profound impact on human imagination. Even if energy fields, ley lines, or piezoelectric effects cannot be conclusively proven, the perception that Stonehenge is a site of power has influenced countless generations. This interplay between mystery, sensory experience, and human belief reinforces the monument's status as a multidimensional phenomenon, an intersection of science, spirituality, and imagination. Ultimately, Stonehenge's potential connection to ancient energies expands the way we understand the site. It is not simply a stone circle, a calendar, or an observatory. It may also have been conceived as a place where unseen forces could be felt, experienced, and harnessed. Whether through acoustic resonance, mineral composition, geomagnetic alignment, or ritual practice, the monument creates a space that engages the human senses and spirit in profound ways. The energy theories of Stonehenge remind us that the Neolithic world was not only concerned with survival and utility but also with the invisible, the mystical, and the extraordinary forces that shape our existence. Stonehenge continues to challenge our assumptions, inviting inquiry, experimentation, and wonder. Its potential as a focal point of energy, whether physical, cosmic, or symbolic, adds yet another layer to its already complex narrative. As we continue to study, explore, and experience this prehistoric marvel, the possibility that Stonehenge was designed to harness or interact with energy reminds us that the monument's full significance may forever transcend the purely rational, leaving room for imagination and the enduring mystery of human ingenuity. For decades, Stonehenge has been at the center of one of the most controversial and sensational debates in archaeology. Could extraterrestrial intelligence have played a role in its construction? While mainstream scholars firmly attribute the monument to human ingenuity, the sheer scale, precision, and complexity of Stonehenge have fueled speculation that it may have been influenced, or even aided, by beings from beyond our planet. Proponents of these theories point to the precise alignment of massive stones, the transportation of bluestones from distant quarries, and the advanced astronomical knowledge encoded in the monument as evidence that Neolithic humans alone might have struggled to achieve such feats. The notion of alien involvement, though speculative, has captured the imagination of millions, adding yet another layer of mystery to this already enigmatic site. One of the central arguments in favor of extraterrestrial involvement is the question of logistics. The bluestones, weighing up to 4 tons each, were transported over 150 miles from the Preseli Hills in Wales. Without advanced machinery, moving such massive stones would have required enormous coordination, ingenuity, and time. Skeptics of human-only construction argue that the precision and efficiency involved may exceed the capabilities of a Neolithic society. They propose that advanced knowledge, or direct assistance, from extraterrestrial visitors could explain how these monumental stones were quarried, transported, and erected with such enduring stability. While archaeological evidence overwhelmingly supports human effort, the mystery surrounding the methods keeps the extraterrestrial hypothesis alive in popular imagination. Astronomical alignment forms another pillar of this controversial theory. Stonehenge's orientation corresponds with the summer and winter solstices, lunar cycles, and potentially even distant stars. The precision with which these alignments were achieved has led some to suggest that Neolithic humans may have received guidance from beings with advanced knowledge of astronomy. Ancient astronaut theorists argue that the monument's ability to function as a sophisticated celestial observatory could reflect knowledge imparted by extraterrestrial visitors, who may have instructed or influenced the design of the stone circle. The meticulous integration of astronomy into the monument reinforces the notion that Stonehenge was more than just a ritual or ceremonial site. It may have been a repository of knowledge beyond the capabilities of the period. Legends and folklore surrounding Stonehenge also feed into extraterrestrial theories. Medieval accounts, such as those describing Merlin magically transporting the stones, hint at a perception of the monument as something extraordinary, almost otherworldly. Ancient myths frequently attribute supernatural or cosmic origins to megalithic sites, which some theorists interpret as coded memory of extraterrestrial contact. While these stories are not evidence in themselves, They reveal a persistent cultural fascination with the idea that Stonehenge is connected to forces beyond ordinary human understanding. The recurring theme of mysterious origin in folklore provides fertile ground for speculation that otherworldly beings may have contributed to its creation. Proponents of extraterrestrial involvement also cite the precision engineering of Stonehenge as a possible indicator. The mortise and tenon joints used to lock the massive lintels atop the upright stones demonstrate advanced understanding of structural mechanics. Experimental archaeologists have shown that such feats could theoretically be accomplished using Neolithic tools, but the time, labor, and coordination required are staggering. For those entertained by the idea of alien influence, the argument is that extraterrestrials may have shared engineering knowledge or technology to achieve such precision. Whether one views it as human brilliance or extraterrestrial guidance, the engineering of Stonehenge remains awe-inspiring and almost inexplicable to some observers. Another point often highlighted is the potential symbolic connection between Stonehenge and extraterrestrial phenomena. The monument's alignment with celestial bodies, its geometric precision, and its function as a calendar or observatory suggest a deep engagement with the cosmos. Ancient astronaut theorists speculate that these characteristics could indicate not just observation of the heavens, but communication or instruction intended for beings from beyond Earth. The idea posits that Stonehenge may have served as a beacon, a guide, or a ceremonial hub designed with cosmic contact in mind. While mainstream science remains skeptical, the alignment of monumental architecture with astronomical phenomena continues to fuel speculation. Skeptics of the extraterrestrial hypothesis argue convincingly that the Neolithic builders possessed extraordinary ingenuity born from generations of experience with stone, wood, and earth. Evidence from quarries, tools, and experimental archaeology demonstrates that humans of the period were capable of feats that, at first glance, seem otherworldly. However, the extraterrestrial theory persists because Stonehenge embodies a combination of scale, precision, and complexity that pushes the boundaries of imagination. The monument's enduring mystery, its alignment with the cosmos, and its enigmatic purpose make it a magnet for theories that challenge conventional understanding. Regardless of one's stance, the extraterrestrial theory underscores the profound awe that Stonehenge inspires. It reminds us that humans have always grappled with the limits of knowledge and the extraordinary possibilities of the unknown. Stonehenge, in its massive stones, precise alignments, and enduring mystery, serves as a canvas onto which both science and imagination project ideas of genius, cosmic significance, and even interstellar involvement. Whether built solely by human hands or influenced by otherworldly guidance, the monument remains a testament to the enduring capacity of humanity to dream, plan, and achieve the extraordinary. Ultimately, Stonehenge's association with extraterrestrial theories highlights the human fascination with the unknown. It is a monument that defies simple explanation, encouraging us to explore the boundaries between history, science, myth, and speculation. The debate over its origins, human, alien, or a combination of both, reflects our relentless desire to understand, interpret, and marvel at what lies beyond our immediate comprehension. Stonehenge continues to challenge, inspire, and provoke thought, ensuring that it remains a focal point of inquiry, wonder, and cosmic speculation for generations to come. Stonehenge has long been associated with the Druids, the ancient priestly class of Celtic society, though the connection is more complex than popular imagination often suggests. When we think of Druids at Stonehenge, we often picture robed figures performing sacred rituals beneath the towering stones during solstices or other celestial events. Yet historical evidence suggests that while Druids were active centuries after Stonehenge's initial construction, their presence added a rich layer of spiritual significance, intertwining the monument's prehistoric origins with the rituals and beliefs of Iron Age societies. This association has fueled both scholarly investigation and popular myth, shaping our modern understanding of Stonehenge as a ceremonial and mystical site. The first written accounts linking Druids to Stonehenge appear in medieval texts and antiquarian studies of the 17th and 18th centuries. Early researchers, intrigued by the monument's monumental scale and apparent ceremonial function, assumed that Druids must have been the original builders. While this assumption has been debunked, archaeology confirms that Stonehenge predates the Druids by over 1,000 years. The association endured in folklore, literature, and popular culture. These historical misconceptions contributed to the mystique of Stonehenge, framing it as a site of spiritual power, secret knowledge, and sacred rites. Druids themselves were deeply connected to the cycles of nature, astronomy, and spiritual observances, which aligns neatly with what we know about Stonehenge's astronomical functions. The summer and winter solstices, in particular, would have provided powerful ritual focal points, allowing Druids to observe celestial events in a setting imbued with historical and symbolic resonance. Archaeological and ethnographic evidence suggests that the Druids' religious practices involved observing the movements of the sun, moon, and stars to guide ceremonial calendars, celebrate seasonal festivals, and mark important life transitions. Stonehenge's alignment with these celestial markers would have made it an ideal location for such ceremonies, even if the original builders had no connection to the Druids themselves. Historical records also indicate that the Druids viewed standing stones and megalithic circles as sacred spaces. In Celtic belief systems, stone circles were often associated with spiritual gateways, places where the human and divine realms intersected. Druids may have used Stonehenge for rituals of divination, seasonal celebration, or communal gathering, capitalizing on the monument's prehistoric aura to enhance the perceived potency of their ceremonies. The alignment with solstices and the acoustic properties of the stones could have amplified the spiritual experience, creating a multisensory environment that heightened the impact of Druidic rituals. Stonehenge, in this context, became more than a historical artifact. It became a living sacred site that connected the spiritual and material worlds. The Druidic association with Stonehenge has been reinforced through centuries of folklore and cultural revival movements. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Romantic writers and antiquarians popularized the image of the Druid as a mystical figure connected to megalithic monuments, solstices, and ancient wisdom. These narratives contributed to modern celebrations such as the summer solstice gatherings, which attract thousands of people each year who feel a connection to both ancient builders and Druidic traditions. The persistence of these cultural practices demonstrates the enduring symbolic power of Stonehenge, bridging millennia of human imagination, ritual, and spirituality. Beyond ceremony, Druids may also have been drawn to Stonehenge as a center of learning and observation. Many scholars suggest that megalithic monuments served as repositories of knowledge, astronomical, mathematical, and spiritual. Druids, with their role as custodians of sacred knowledge, could have utilized Stonehenge as a teaching tool, a reference for ritual timing, and a space for transmitting ancestral wisdom. Even without direct evidence of specific practices, the alignment of the monument with celestial phenomena and its enduring sacred aura make it plausible that Druids found inspiration, instruction, and ritual significance at the site. The Druidic connection also emphasizes Stonehenge's role as a communal and spiritual hub. Rituals likely involved not only priests but entire communities, marking seasonal transitions, fertility rites, and rites of passage. The Druids' leadership in these ceremonies would have reinforced social cohesion and cultural continuity, bridging the ancient and Iron Age traditions. Stonehenge thus functioned as a site where collective memory, religious authority, and cosmic observation converged, creating a space where both the spiritual and social dimensions of life were honored. Modern reinterpretations of the Druidic connection have further cemented the monument's mystical aura. Neo-Druid movements and contemporary spiritual groups celebrate Stonehenge as a sacred space, participating in solstice rituals, meditation, and ceremonial gatherings. While these practices differ from ancient rituals, they continue a long tradition of human engagement with the monument's spiritual, astronomical, and ceremonial significance. Stonehenge remains a place where the past and present converge, a site where Druidic symbolism, prehistoric achievement, and modern imagination intersect. Ultimately, the relationship between Stonehenge and the Druids highlights the monument's evolving spiritual significance. Originally constructed by Neolithic communities for purposes that likely included astronomy, ritual, and social cohesion, Stonehenge later became a ceremonial stage for Druidic observances, bridging thousands of years of human thought, spirituality, and imagination. This layered history reminds us that monuments are not static relics but living symbols, their meaning shaped and reshaped by each generation that encounters them. Stonehenge, in connection with the Druids, embodies humanity's enduring quest to understand the cosmos, honor life and death, and experience the sacred. Stonehenge is often celebrated for its massive stones, astronomical alignments, and ceremonial significance, but there is another, often overlooked dimension that adds to its mystery: sound. Recent studies have revealed that Stonehenge was not only a visual and spiritual marvel but also an acoustic wonder. The arrangement, shape, and composition of the stones create unique soundscapes, amplifying certain frequencies and producing reverberations that can be physically felt by anyone standing within the monument. These acoustic properties suggest that the Neolithic builders may have intentionally designed the site to manipulate sound, adding a powerful sensory dimension to rituals and gatherings that remains largely unexplored. One of the most intriguing acoustic features of Stonehenge is the way the stones interact with sound waves. Experimental research has demonstrated that standing sarsens and bluestones can create a resonant chamber effect, amplifying low-frequency vibrations. Sounds produced within the circle, such as chanting, drumming, or clapping, can be echoed, magnified, and modulated by the stones themselves. This phenomenon would have created an immersive auditory experience, enveloping participants in vibrations that could heighten emotional and spiritual states. The careful positioning of stones may have allowed builders to control these resonances, using sound as an integral part of ceremonial practice rather than as a mere byproduct of the architecture. Acoustic anomalies at Stonehenge extend beyond simple amplification. Researchers have observed that certain stones, particularly the smaller bluestones, produce unique tones when struck, much like a musical instrument. These resonances vary depending on the type of stone, its placement, and the surrounding environment, suggesting that the monument may have been intentionally arranged to produce a specific auditory landscape. Some scholars speculate that these tonal qualities could have been used in rituals to induce trance states, communicate spiritual messages, or create a sense of connection to the cosmos. Whether by design or serendipity, the soundscape of Stonehenge adds another layer to its complexity and potential purpose. The integration of sound into ritual practice would have had profound effects on participants. Low-frequency vibrations, similar to those produced by chanting or percussion instruments, are known to influence human physiology, affecting heart rate, perception, and even emotional states. In a prehistoric ceremonial context, these resonances could have intensified the impact of rituals, creating awe, fear, or transcendence. Stonehenge's acoustic properties may have transformed ordinary ceremonies into deeply immersive experiences, where participants felt physically and spiritually enveloped by the monument itself. This sensory dimension reinforces the idea that the Neolithic builders were not only concerned with visual symbolism and astronomical precision but also with creating experiences that engaged multiple senses. The phenomenon of acoustic hotspots, areas within the monument where sound behaves unusually, adds further intrigue. Certain positions inside Stonehenge amplify specific frequencies while dampening others, creating pockets where sound is concentrated or transformed. Participants standing in these locations would have experienced altered perceptions of space and sound, possibly interpreting them as supernatural or spiritually significant. The presence of these acoustic hotspots raises the possibility that the monument's layout was not only astronomically precise but also acoustically deliberate, enhancing the ceremonial and ritual impact of the site. Some theorists suggest that the acoustic design of Stonehenge may have been linked to communication or signaling over long distances. Vibrations carried through stone and earth could have been perceived in ways that conveyed information, ritual cues, or warnings. While this idea remains speculative, it highlights the multifaceted nature of the monument, where architecture, astronomy, and acoustics converge to create an environment capable of supporting complex social and spiritual functions. Stonehenge was more than a static monument. It was an experimental space that engaged participants on visual, auditory, and emotional levels. Comparisons with other megalithic sites around the world reinforce the idea that sound played a role in prehistoric ceremonial architecture. Sites in Malta, Ireland, and Scotland exhibit similar acoustic phenomena, suggesting that ancient builders had an intuitive understanding of resonance and vibration. Stonehenge's acoustic properties, combined with its astronomical alignments and ritual significance, place it within a global context of prehistoric sites designed to manipulate perception, create immersive experiences, and reinforce spiritual or social authority. This connection across cultures underscores the sophisticated awareness of sound and its potential effects among ancient peoples. Modern experiments at Stonehenge, including audio mapping, vibration analysis, and musical simulations, continue to uncover surprising insights. Researchers have demonstrated that the monument's soundscape would have been dramatically different in the Neolithic period, when fewer surrounding structures and vegetation would have allowed sound to travel and reverberate more freely. These studies suggest that ceremonies conducted thousands of years ago would have been accompanied by rich, resonant, and sometimes otherworldly auditory effects, amplifying the monument's spiritual and communal impact. Sound was not an afterthought. It was an essential component of the Stonehenge experience. Ultimately, the acoustic mysteries of Stonehenge reveal yet another dimension of its genius. The monument was not only a marvel of stone, astronomy, and ritual but also a carefully orchestrated soundscape, capable of shaping perception, emotion, and spiritual experience. The interplay between stone, vibration, and human presence suggests a sophisticated understanding of sensory manipulation that adds depth to our appreciation of Neolithic ingenuity. Stonehenge engages sight, sound, and space, creating a multisensory environment that transcends ordinary architectural achievement. The acoustic phenomena of Stonehenge remind us that this monument was designed to be experienced, not merely observed. Every vibration, echo, and resonance carries with it the echoes of ancient ritual, the presence of long-departed ancestors, and the ingenuity of a civilization capable of harmonizing architecture, astronomy, and sensory perception. Standing within the circle today, one can sense the subtle power of these acoustic effects, imagining how sound would have enhanced ceremony, ritual, and spiritual connection thousands of years ago. In this way, Stonehenge soundscape becomes a bridge across time, linking modern visitors to the sensory and spiritual world of its Neolithic builders. While most visitors to Stonehenge marvel at the visible stones and their precise astronomical alignments, beneath the surface lies another layer of mystery, hidden chambers and subterranean structures that hint at secrets long buried. Recent archaeological investigations using ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and other remote sensing technologies have revealed anomalies beneath and around the monument, pits, tunnels, and potential chambers that may have served ritual, storage, or ceremonial purposes. These hidden features suggest that Stonehenge was far more than an open-air monument. It was a multidimensional site with layers of construction, symbolism, and function that extend beneath the ground. Each discovery challenges our perception of the monument, hinting at activities and intentions that remain shrouded in mystery. One of the most striking discoveries is the presence of subterranean pits aligned with the stones above. These so-called socket holes appear to mirror the arrangement of uprights and lintels, creating echoes of the monument underground. Some researchers suggest that these pits may have held wooden posts, smaller stones, or ritual deposits, forming a hidden counterpart to the visible circle. This duality, above and below ground, suggests a sophisticated symbolic design, where the visible monument represents the heavens and the subterranean features represent the underworld, creating a cosmological axis that connects life, death, and the spiritual realm. The very act of hiding these structures beneath the surface implies intentional secrecy, reinforcing the sacred and mysterious nature of Stonehenge. Beyond pits, more substantial chambers and potential tunnels have been hinted at through modern geophysical surveys. In several locations, anomalies consistent with cavities or voids have been detected, though excavation is limited to preserve the site. Some theorists speculate that these chambers could have been used for initiation rites, shamanic journeys, or secret ceremonies conducted away from the public eye. Others suggest practical purposes, such as storage of ceremonial objects, sacred materials, or astronomical instruments. The presence of hidden chambers adds another dimension to Stonehenge, transforming it from a simple ceremonial circle into a complex, multi-layered ritual landscape. The notion of underground spaces aligns with broader prehistoric traditions. Many ancient cultures constructed subterranean chambers beneath sacred sites, connecting the living space with realms of the dead, spirits, or the underworld. Examples range from passage tombs in Ireland to the Hypogeum of Malta, where hidden chambers were integral to ritual and cosmology. Stonehenge's hidden features may represent a similar intent, to create a sacred continuum between the surface, where human life unfolds, and the hidden depths, where mystery, death, and spiritual forces reside. The interaction between visible stones and subterranean structures hints at a worldview in which life and death, heaven and underworld, were inseparably intertwined. Excavations have also uncovered traces of human activity within these hidden spaces. Charcoal, pottery fragments, and cremated remains suggest that the subterranean features were not merely structural but functional, supporting ceremonial or ritual activity. The careful deposition of materials indicates that these chambers were treated with reverence and intentionality. These findings deepen the enigma of Stonehenge, revealing that even when most eyes were focused on the monumental stones above, important sacred acts may have been taking place below, hidden from view. The duality of public display and secret practice underscores the monument's complexity and the sophisticated spiritual life of its builders. The hidden chambers also raise questions about what might remain undiscovered. Ground-penetrating radar has its limits, and the fragile nature of the monument prevents invasive excavation in many areas. It is possible that additional chambers, tunnels, or ritual features remain buried, holding artifacts, remains, or symbolic objects that could radically reshape our understanding of Stonehenge. Every subterranean anomaly fuels speculation, prompting questions about the scale, purpose, and intentions of these hidden constructions. Were they exclusively ritual, or did they also serve practical, astronomical, or social functions? The answers remain tantalizingly out of reach, heightening the monument's aura of mystery. Some theories propose that the hidden chambers were designed to enhance spiritual experiences during ceremonies. The use of underground spaces for ritual is a common theme in prehistoric architecture, where confined, dark, and acoustically unique spaces were believed to facilitate contact with the spiritual or supernatural realm. If Stonehenge subterranean features served a similar purpose, participants could have experienced profound sensory and psychological effects, amplifying the emotional and mystical power of the monument. The interplay between the visible stones and hidden chambers would have created a layered ceremonial experience, with above-ground displays complementing subterranean rites, connecting humans to both the earth and the cosmos. The discovery of hidden chambers reinforces the idea that Stonehenge was not a single-purpose monument. It was a dynamic, multifunctional site integrating astronomy, ritual, spirituality, and possibly social or political authority. The underground features may have been reserved for initiates, priests, or specific ceremonies, creating a hierarchy of access that mirrors human and cosmic order. The monumental stones above would have impressed the public, while the hidden chambers below allowed for controlled, secretive, and profound ritual experiences. This dual design demonstrates a level of sophistication that continues to amaze modern researchers. Ultimately, the hidden chambers at Stonehenge remind us that what we see on the surface is only part of the story. The monument's true scale, purpose, and power extend below ground, into spaces deliberately concealed from casual observation. These subterranean mysteries suggest a civilization deeply engaged with both the material and spiritual worlds, capable of constructing not only massive stones and precise alignments but also hidden layers of ritual significance. Stonehenge, above and below, remains a monument of wonder, a testament to human ingenuity, sacred intention, and the enduring mystery of our ancestors' vision. Standing among the visible stones today, one can only imagine what lies beneath, hidden from view yet integral to the monument's function and symbolism. The hidden chambers are silent witnesses to ancient rituals, echoes of ceremonies that may never be fully understood, and reminders that even in the 21st century, Stonehenge continues to guard secrets that challenge our understanding, stir our imagination, and inspire awe. Stonehenge is often celebrated for its sheer scale and ritual significance, but beneath the surface of its monumental stones lies a remarkable story of ancient technology. The construction of this prehistoric marvel required innovations that challenge our assumptions about Neolithic societies. From the precise quarrying of massive stones to the complex transportation, shaping, and erection techniques, Stonehenge demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of physics, geometry, and engineering that continues to astonish modern scholars. While these technologies were created without written language, metal tools, or wheels, they reflect a mastery of practical problem-solving, human coordination, and environmental adaptation that seems almost futuristic for its time. The first technological challenge faced by the builders was quarrying the massive stones. The smaller bluestones, sourced from the Preseli Hills in Wales, and the enormous sarsens from the Marlborough Downs, required methods to extract, transport, and shape stones weighing several tons. Experimental archaeology suggests that Neolithic workers used a combination of stone hammers, wooden levers, antler picks, and controlled fire to break, smooth, and carve these stones with remarkable precision. The use of fire to create fractures, followed by careful chiseling, allowed builders to manipulate massive rocks in ways that required deep knowledge of material properties. The level of precision achieved is especially notable in the interlocking joints, mortise and tenon connections, and the alignment of lintels atop upright stones, revealing a technological sophistication that continues to defy easy explanation. Transportation of these stones presented another remarkable technological achievement. The bluestones traveled over 150 miles, across rivers, valleys, and uneven terrain, yet somehow reached Stonehenge intact. Theories range from rolling stones on timber logs to dragging them over sledges, possibly aided by wetting pathways to reduce friction. Some researchers propose the use of rafts to navigate rivers, while others argue that teams of workers may have coordinated intricate pulling and lever systems. The precise techniques remain debated, yet the fact that prehistoric communities accomplished such feats without modern machinery demonstrates ingenuity, planning, and practical technological skill that rivals later civilizations. Once transported, the shaping and placement of stones required further technological know-how. The upright sarsens had to be raised into vertical positions and capped with horizontal lintels, creating trilithons that have stood for thousands of years. Archaeological experiments suggest that large wooden A-frames, ropes, ramps, and counterweights could have been used, but coordinating these operations required not only skill but a deep understanding of mechanics, leverage, and balance. Every stone was carefully positioned to align with solstices, lunar events, or specific sightlines, indicating that technology and astronomy were intertwined. The ability to integrate structural engineering, spatial geometry, and celestial observation speaks to a holistic technological culture that combined practical tools with visionary planning. Even subtle technological considerations appear throughout Stonehenge. The choice of site demonstrates knowledge of soil stability, drainage, and landscape optimization. Builders prepared the ground meticulously, creating packed chalk foundations and leveling platforms to ensure stability. Stones were arranged to minimize shifting and optimize load distribution, a practice that mirrors principles of civil engineering employed centuries later. These decisions reflect not only practical problem-solving but an advanced awareness of environmental forces and material behavior, showcasing the Neolithic builders' ability to manipulate both natural and constructed elements to achieve long-term stability. The integration of astronomy with construction is another testament to ancient technology. Stonehenge was aligned with the summer and winter solstices, lunar standstills, and possibly even distant stars, requiring accurate observation, measurement, and planning over long periods. The creation of sightlines, avenues, and markers demonstrates that the builders possess technologies for spatial measurement and celestial tracking, even without standardized units of measure or written records. They relied on observation, empirical knowledge, and repetition to achieve precision, illustrating that technology in the ancient world was not limited to tools but included systems of knowledge and methodology. Stonehenge also reflects the use of acoustic technology. Researchers have found that the arrangement of stones creates resonant effects, amplifying low-frequency sounds during rituals or ceremonies. The deliberate use of this acoustic phenomenon may have required careful placement of stones, selection of materials, and understanding of how vibrations interact with the environment. In essence, Stonehenge integrates principles of sound engineering, demonstrating that technology for sensory manipulation, beyond mere construction, was understood and applied in ritual contexts. Moreover, the Neolithic builders incorporated iterative problem-solving into their technological approach. Stonehenge was constructed in multiple phases over centuries, with stones added, removed, repositioned, and reworked. This adaptability reflects a dynamic approach to technology, where feedback from previous construction informs subsequent improvements. Such a process mirrors modern engineering practices, where prototypes, testing, and refinement are critical. The willingness to refine, modify, and enhance the monument over generations demonstrates a sophisticated technological culture capable of long-term planning and complex project management. The technological mastery at Stonehenge extends beyond the physical to the social dimension. Organizing labor, coordinating large groups, and sustaining projects over decades required advanced logistical systems. Knowledge of tool use, construction techniques, and environmental adaptation had to be shared and transmitted across generations. This transmission of technological expertise, without formal education or written records, highlights the remarkable capacity of prehistoric societies to maintain complex knowledge and apply it on monumental scales. Ultimately, Stonehenge is a testament to the ingenuity of ancient technology. It challenges modern assumptions about the capabilities of Neolithic societies, demonstrating that large-scale construction, astronomical observation, acoustic design, and environmental engineering were well within their reach. The monument represents not only cultural and spiritual achievement but also technological sophistication, where vision, skill, and empirical knowledge converge. Stonehenge continues to inspire awe, revealing that the ancient world was far more advanced than often imagined, and that technology, ancient, silent, and enduring, was at the heart of this extraordinary monument. Stonehenge is often seen as a monument of mystery, astronomical mastery, and spiritual ritual, but another layer of its enigmatic purpose has long captivated researchers and enthusiasts alike: healing. For centuries, Stonehenge has been linked to health, restoration, and supernatural rejuvenation, giving rise to theories that the site functioned as a prehistoric healing center. These ideas are supported by both archaeological evidence and folklore, suggesting that the monument's builders may have recognized the unique properties of the stones, the energies of the land, or the effects of ritual in promoting physical and spiritual well-being. Whether through mineral composition, acoustics, or ceremonial practice, the healing aspect of Stonehenge adds a deeply human and profoundly mysterious dimension to its history. One of the earliest clues to Stonehenge's healing properties comes from the bluestones themselves. Sourced from the Preseli Hills of Wales, these stones were believed to carry inherent curative qualities. Archaeological findings suggest that some stones were shaped, placed, or transported in ways that indicate special significance, possibly reflecting an understanding of their therapeutic potential. The mineral composition of dolerite, rhyolite, and other stone types may have contributed to this perception, as certain minerals are known to produce piezoelectric effects or subtle vibrations when struck or stressed. While the science behind such effects remains speculative, it is plausible that Neolithic peoples recognized that these stones produced unusual sensations, energies, or resonance, which could have been interpreted as healing or spiritually beneficial. Folklore and historical accounts further reinforce Stonehenge's reputation as a place of healing. Medieval legends describe pilgrims traveling to the monument to be cured of ailments, and early antiquarians reported stories of miraculous recoveries associated with the site. These narratives often emphasize the blue stones in particular, sometimes referred to as healing stones, and their reputed ability to restore strength, cure illness, or promote fertility. While these accounts are steeped in myth, they reflect a long-standing perception of Stonehenge as a center of restorative power, bridging prehistoric knowledge with subsequent cultural beliefs. The healing theories extend beyond the physical properties of the stones. Researchers have suggested that the site's design may have been intended to create an environment conducive to psychological and spiritual restoration. Stonehenge's circular arrangement, alignment with solstices, and acoustic properties combine to produce a multisensory experience that could have enhanced meditation, ritual, and introspection. Low-frequency resonances within the stone circle, amplified by chanting or drumming, could have produced calming or trance-like states, promoting mental focus, spiritual insight, or perceived well-being. In this sense, the monument functioned as both a physical and psychological tool, facilitating healing through sensory immersion and ritual practice. Archaeological discoveries of human remains near Stonehenge provide additional context for healing theories. Many skeletal fragments show signs of trauma, disease, or malnutrition, suggesting that the monument may have been associated with care, ritualized attention, or ceremonial intervention for the sick or injured. The careful placement of bones and artifacts in surrounding burial mounds indicates that healing may have been intertwined with funerary practices, blending physical recovery with spiritual or symbolic restoration. These findings suggest that Stonehenge served not only as a ceremonial center but also as a sanctuary for those seeking transformation, recovery, or connection to ancestral forces. The landscape surrounding Stonehenge further supports the idea of its healing function. The site is located on the slightly elevated Salisbury Plain, an area rich in natural springs, chalk deposits, and unique mineral formations. Neolithic builders may have chosen this location for its perceived energetic or therapeutic properties, combining environmental awareness with architectural ingenuity. The alignment of the stones with celestial events could also have been part of a broader healing strategy, synchronizing human activity with seasonal cycles, solar rhythms, and lunar phases to optimize physical and spiritual restoration. Comparative studies with other megalithic sites reinforce the healing theory. Around the world, ancient communities built stone circles, passage tombs, and ceremonial enclosures that exhibit similar associations with health, fertility, and spiritual rejuvenation. Sites in Malta, Ireland, and France, for example, reveal patterns of ritualized healing, where sacred spaces, acoustic phenomena, and mineral resources were integrated into therapeutic practice. Stonehenge fits into this broader prehistoric tradition, demonstrating that ancient societies understood the intersection of environment, ritual, and well-being in ways that continue to inspire modern researchers. Modern interpretations of Stonehenge's healing potential continue to attract visitors and spiritual practitioners. Neo-pagan and holistic communities celebrate solstices and equinoxes at the site, engaging in meditation, ritual, and sound therapy. While contemporary practices differ from those of Neolithic builders, they echo a long-standing human fascination with the monument's ability to foster physical, emotional, and spiritual renewal. These practices underscore the enduring perception that Stonehenge is not merely a historical artifact but a living space where energy, intention, and sensory experience converge to promote healing and transformation. Ultimately, the healing theories of Stonehenge highlight a deeply human dimension of the monument. Beyond its astronomical alignments, monumental construction, and ceremonial function, Stonehenge may have served as a sanctuary of restoration, a place where the physical, spiritual, and psychological intersected. Whether through the properties of the stones, the design of the circle, or the rituals performed within it, the site offered an experience that transcended ordinary human perception, providing solace, strength, and transformation. The concept of Stonehenge as a healing center reminds us that ancient societies were attuned not only to survival and ritual but also to human well-being, consciousness, and the unseen forces that shape our lives. Stonehenge, in its enduring mystery and layered significance, continues to inspire awe, inviting us to explore the intersection of architecture, ritual, and the human quest for health and spiritual fulfillment. Its reputation as a place of healing endures across millennia, bridging prehistoric knowledge, folklore, and modern spiritual practice. The monument stones, alignments, and hidden energies speak to a timeless human desire to connect with the earth, the cosmos, and the forces within ourselves that bring restoration, resilience, and wonder. Stonehenge is often celebrated for its astronomical alignments, monumental stones, and mystical energy, but lurking beneath these wonders is a darker, more enigmatic dimension: ritual sacrifice. Archaeological evidence and historical interpretation suggest that Stonehenge was not only a site of celebration, healing, and cosmic observation but also a place where life and death intertwined in sacred ceremonies. The idea of sacrifice, whether human, animal, or symbolic, introduces a powerful lens through which to view the monument, revealing its role as a stage for profound spiritual, social, and ritualized practices that reflected the beliefs and cosmology of its builders. Excavations around Stonehenge have uncovered skeletal remains that provide tantalizing clues about the presence of ritualized death. Cremated human remains, disarticulated bones, and unusual burial positions suggest ceremonial deposition rather than mere disposal of the dead. Some archaeologists argue that these remains indicate human sacrifice, while others suggest that they reflect ritualized treatment of the deceased in connection with burial rites or ancestral worship. Regardless of interpretation, the evidence demonstrates that Stonehenge was intimately connected to the cycles of life and death, serving as a sacred space where the physical and spiritual worlds intersected in profound and sometimes unsettling ways. Animal sacrifice is also well documented at Stonehenge and surrounding ceremonial sites. Analysis of animal bones reveals patterns of slaughter, processing, and deposition that suggest deliberate ritual rather than everyday consumption. Cattle, pigs, and other livestock appear to have been offered to deities or ancestral spirits, reinforcing the connection between humans, animals, and the sacred. These sacrifices may have served multiple purposes: appeasing spiritual forces, ensuring agricultural fertility, or marking significant celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes. In this way, sacrifice became a bridge between the mortal and divine, embedding the monument within a cosmological and ritual framework that governed Neolithic life. The location and structure of Stonehenge further support its role as a site of ritual sacrifice. The concentric circles, avenues, and aligned stones create a staged environment, guiding participants through ceremonial pathways that culminate in the central stone settings. This spatial organization would have enhanced the dramatic and psychological impact of rituals, emphasizing the sacred nature of sacrifice and reinforcing the authority of priests, shamans, or community leaders who conducted these ceremonies. The deliberate choreography of space and movement underscores the monument's function as more than a passive marker of time. It was a dynamic, immersive setting for rituals of life, death, and cosmic significance. Historical interpretations of Stonehenge ritual functions often draw upon comparative studies of other prehistoric sites. Across Europe, megalithic circles, passage tombs, and ceremonial enclosures reveal consistent patterns of sacrificial practices, linking life, death, and spirituality. Sites such as Newgrange in Ireland and Carnac in France exhibit evidence of ceremonial killing, symbolic deposition of remains, and offerings to deities or spirits. Stonehenge fits within this broader context, suggesting that the monument was part of a pan-European tradition in which sacrifice, physical, symbolic, or both, played a central role in ritual and cosmology. The timing of sacrifices at Stonehenge may have been closely linked to celestial events. The summer and winter solstices, lunar standstills, and equinoxes provided not only astronomical markers but also ritual opportunities. Scholars speculate that sacrifices were timed to align with these events, creating a profound connection between the heavens and ceremonial practice. The dramatic alignment of stones with the sunrise or sunset at these key times would have intensified the spiritual and psychological impact of sacrifice, emphasizing humanity's relationship with the cosmos and reinforcing the sacred authority of those conducting the rites. Some theories propose that sacrifice at Stonehenge was not solely about appeasing deities but also about social cohesion and community identity. Participation in or witnessing ritual offerings could have reinforced social hierarchies, transmitted cultural knowledge, and solidified communal bonds. The act of sacrifice, whether human, animal, or symbolic, became a shared experience that linked participants to the monument, the land, and one another. In this sense, sacrifice functioned not only as a spiritual or religious act but also as a mechanism for social continuity, shaping the structure and values of Neolithic society. The darker aspects of sacrifice are complemented by the monument's other functions, creating a complex interplay between awe, fear, reverence, and wonder. Stonehenge was a place of life-affirming rituals, healing, and celebration. Yet it was also a site where death and transformation were ritualized and symbolically enacted. This duality reflects a sophisticated understanding of human experience, acknowledging the inseparability of life and death, creation and destruction, light and shadow. The presence of ritual sacrifice adds a dramatic, almost cinematic dimension to the monument, emphasizing its power as a focal point for profound human emotion and spiritual engagement. Modern interpretations of Stonehenge as a site of sacrifice continue to provoke fascination and debate. While some scholars caution against sensationalizing human remains, others argue that acknowledging the possibility of ritual sacrifice deepens our understanding of the monument's significance. By integrating archaeological evidence, historical context, and comparative studies, we gain a richer appreciation of Stonehenge as a complex ceremonial landscape where the forces of life, death, and cosmic order converged in deliberate, awe-inspiring ways. Ultimately, the association of Stonehenge with ritual sacrifice highlights the monument's role as a site of profound spiritual and cultural importance. It reminds us that ancient societies engaged with life and death not merely as biological phenomena but as sacred, symbolic, and communal experiences. Sacrifice, whether through the deposition of human or animal remains, or through symbolic ritual, reinforce the connection between the natural world, the cosmos, and human society. Stonehenge stands as a testament to the intricate interplay of awe, ritual, and the human quest to understand and influence the forces that govern existence. Standing within Stonehenge today, one can imagine the solemn ceremonies that unfolded thousands of years ago, the echoes of chants and footsteps, the weight of intention, and the profound spiritual resonance of acts both life-affirming and life-taking. The monument, in all its grandeur and mystery, reminds us that the Neolithic world was a place of profound reverence for both life and death, and that the forces of ritual, sacrifice, and cosmic alignment were intertwined in ways that continue to captivate and challenge modern understanding. One of the most captivating aspects of Stonehenge is its precise astronomical alignment, a feature that has puzzled and fascinated researchers for centuries. Far from being a random arrangement of stones, the monument reflects an extraordinary understanding of celestial mechanics, suggesting that its builders were keen observers of the heavens. Every upright and lintel appears to have been placed with deliberate consideration of solar, lunar, and possibly even stellar events. From the summer and winter solstices to the complex cycles of the moon, Stonehenge acts as both a calendar and a cosmic observatory, bridging the terrestrial world with the rhythms of the sky. The more closely one studies these alignments, the more evident it becomes that the monument was a sophisticated tool for tracking and interpreting astronomical phenomena. The most well-known alignment occurs during the summer solstice, when the rising sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone and the central trilithons. On this day, sunlight floods the center of the monument in a dramatic and awe-inspiring display. Thousands of modern visitors flock to witness this event, echoing what may have been an equally significant moment for Neolithic communities. The winter solstice presents a similar spectacle at the opposite horizon, marking the shortest day of the year. These alignments demonstrate not only practical knowledge of solar cycles but also a deep cultural and spiritual connection to celestial events, emphasizing their importance in agricultural planning, ritual observance, and social cohesion. In addition to solar alignments, Stonehenge is intricately connected to lunar cycles. Researchers have identified evidence suggesting that the monument tracks the moon's 18-6-year nodal cycle, a phenomenon that would have required long-term observation, meticulous recording, and the ability to integrate these observations into a coherent architectural plan. This implies that the Neolithic builders possessed both patience and precision, capable of synthesizing decades of celestial data into a permanent stone structure. The integration of lunar and solar alignments highlights a sophisticated understanding of time, rhythm, and natural cycles, allowing Stonehenge to function as a comprehensive astronomical observatory as well as a ceremonial monument. Beyond the sun and moon, some scholars propose that Stonehenge may have been aligned with specific stars or constellations, though this theory remains more speculative. Ancient cultures around the world often connected their monuments to prominent celestial bodies, using them for navigation, ritual, and cultural storytelling. Stonehenge's alignment with the horizon and its orientation relative to nearby topographical features suggest that its builders were attentive not only to immediate solar and lunar events but also to the broader celestial landscape. If true, this connection to the stars would further emphasize the monument's role as a bridge between the human and cosmic realms, linking daily life, spiritual practice, and astronomical observation. The astronomical precision of Stonehenge extends beyond simple orientation. The spacing of stones, the placement of avenues, and the construction of sightlines suggest a deliberate design that allowed observers to track time and celestial events with remarkable accuracy. Some researchers argue that Stonehenge may have functioned as a calendar to predict seasonal changes, track agricultural cycles, or coordinate social events. The monument's ability to mark solstices, equinoxes, and lunar standstills demonstrates a level of sophistication that rivals much later civilizations, challenging assumptions about the scientific and mathematical capabilities of Neolithic societies. Stonehenge's astronomical function also intersects with its ritual significance. Celestial events would have marked moments of ceremonial importance, guiding festivals, offerings, and community gatherings. The alignment of the stones created a stage upon which the heavens themselves participated in human rituals. Sunlight, shadows, and moonlight may have been incorporated into ceremonies to symbolize renewal, fertility, life, and death. This intertwining of astronomy and ritual emphasizes that Stonehenge was not merely a passive observation post, but an active participant in the spiritual and cultural life of its builders, a place where cosmic order was mirrored and enacted in stone. Comparisons with other prehistoric observatories underscore Stonehenge's significance. Across Europe and beyond, ancient cultures constructed monuments with precise alignments to celestial events, including passage tombs, stone circles, and megalithic avenues. These structures suggest a widespread understanding of astronomy in prehistoric societies, integrated with ritual, social organization, and environmental observation. Stonehenge, with its scale, precision, and enduring alignment, stands as one of the most sophisticated examples, demonstrating that Neolithic communities possessed knowledge and skills that continue to amaze modern scholars. The enduring mystery of Stonehenge's astronomical alignment lies not only in its precision but also in its intent. Why did Neolithic people invest such effort into observing, recording, and integrating celestial events into a stone monument? The answer likely encompasses both practical and spiritual dimensions. Astronomical alignments helped organize agriculture, navigation, and seasonal planning, while simultaneously reinforcing the social and religious authority of those who understood and interpreted the sky. In this sense, Stonehenge becomes a nexus of knowledge, power, and cosmic awareness, reflecting humanity's earliest attempts to harmonize earthly life with the rhythms of the universe. Ultimately, Stonehenge's astronomical alignments reveal a civilization deeply attuned to the cosmos. Its builders demonstrated extraordinary observation skills, mathematical reasoning, and cultural sophistication, creating a monument that was functional, symbolic, and profoundly beautiful. The interplay of sun, moon, stars, and stone continues to captivate modern observers, connecting us to the vision, knowledge, and spirituality of people who lived thousands of years ago. Stonehenge stands as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the heavens, a silent observatory that bridges time, space, and imagination. Standing at Stonehenge today, witnessing the alignment of stones with the rising or setting sun, one cannot help but feel a connection to the people who built it. Their observations of the sky, encoded in stone, remind us that the quest to understand our place in the cosmos is as ancient as civilization itself. Stonehenge, with its astronomical precision, serves as both a monument to the past and a continuing source of inspiration, inviting us to look upward, question, and marvel at the ingenuity of our ancestors. Stonehenge has long captivated humanity not only for its monumental stones and ritual significance, but also for the possibility that it served as a gateway, an interface between Earth and the cosmos. Some researchers and theorists propose that Stonehenge was designed as a celestial portal, a sacred site where human consciousness could connect with the universe in profound and mysterious ways. The alignment of stones with solstices, lunar cycles, and possibly specific stars suggests that the monument was more than a calendar or observatory. It may have been conceived as a spiritual bridge, linking the terrestrial realm with celestial forces and energies beyond human comprehension. The concept of Stonehenge as a portal elevates its purpose from functional or ceremonial to metaphysical, suggesting that its builders were attuned to dimensions of reality that remain elusive to modern science. The idea of celestial portals is grounded in both the architectural layout and the astronomical precision of the site. Stonehenge's concentric circles, avenues, and trilithons create a dynamic space that guides participants' attention and movement, culminating in points where celestial bodies rise or set in perfect alignment. These alignments, particularly with the solstices, transform the monument into a stage upon which the heavens themselves appear to participate in human rituals. On these days, Sunlight pours through the stones in ways that may have been interpreted as divine illumination or cosmic presence, reinforcing the notion that Stonehenge was a conduit for energies, messages, or spiritual forces from the sky. Beyond mere light and shadow, some researchers suggest that the monument's acoustic properties amplify its role as a celestial portal. The arrangement of stones produces resonances that can be felt physically, especially during chanting, drumming, or ritual activity. Low-frequency vibrations may have been interpreted as communication from higher realms or as a mechanism to alter consciousness, facilitating spiritual journeys or transcendental experiences. By integrating sight, sound, and spatial orientation, Stonehenge becomes a multisensory portal, an environment designed to heighten perception and invite participants into a state of spiritual receptivity. The connection between Stonehenge and celestial portals is further reinforced by its surrounding landscape. The monument is not isolated. It exists within a complex ceremonial landscape that includes avenues, burial mounds, and other megalithic structures. These features may have extended the portal function, creating pathways of energy or guiding participants along a ritual journey from the mundane to the sacred. The alignment of these features with celestial events and the spatial orientation of the monument suggests that the Neolithic builders intentionally designed Stonehenge to facilitate interaction with forces beyond the visible world. The entire site can thus be interpreted as a carefully crafted network of terrestrial and cosmic connectivity. Historical and mythological traditions add additional layers to the portal hypothesis. Legends associated with Stonehenge often speak of divine or mystical forces, from Merlin transporting the stones from Ireland to the association of the blue stones with magical or healing properties. While these stories are symbolic, they reflect a long-standing cultural perception of Stonehenge as a place where ordinary reality intersects with extraordinary power. The idea of a portal, therefore, is not merely modern speculation. It is deeply rooted in human imagination, storytelling, and spiritual engagement with the monument over millennia. Archaeological evidence also provides hints of transformative experiences at Stonehenge. The presence of hidden chambers, cremated remains, and artifacts associated with ritual activity suggests that the monument was a site of profound personal and communal significance. Individuals participating in ceremonies may have experienced altered states of consciousness, facilitated by the alignment of stones, the acoustic environment, and ritual practice. These experiences, whether spiritual, psychological, or symbolic, could have reinforced the idea that Stonehenge functioned as a gateway to realms beyond ordinary perception. The portal, in this sense, is not a physical structure but a designed experience that bridges the human and the cosmic. Some theories extend the portal concept into the metaphysical, proposing that Stonehenge may have been intended to connect not only with observable celestial bodies but also with unseen energies or dimensions. These ideas draw on ethnographic comparisons with other cultures that regarded certain sacred sites as doorways to other worlds, where priests, shamans, or initiates could communicate with deities, spirits, or ancestors. Stonehenge's precise alignment, acoustic resonance, and immersive environment may have facilitated similar experiences, allowing participants to perceive themselves as part of a larger cosmic order. In this view, the monument transcends the physical, serving as a nexus where human, terrestrial, and celestial realms converge. The celestial portal theory also emphasizes the role of perception and experience. Stonehenge builders were not only constructing with stone, they were crafting human experience. Light, shadow, sound, and spatial orientation were orchestrated to evoke wonder, reverence, and transcendence. Participants moving through the monument, observing the rising sun, or feeling the resonance of the stones may have sensed a doorway opening to the cosmos, reinforcing the monument's spiritual and symbolic power. This interplay of architecture, astronomy, and human perception underscores the sophistication of the builders and their deep understanding of both material and immaterial forces. Ultimately, Stonehenge as a celestial portal challenges modern assumptions about prehistoric societies. It suggests that Neolithic communities were not only capable engineers and astronomers but also deeply attuned to spiritual, symbolic, and possibly metaphysical dimensions of existence. The monument becomes a testament to the human desire to connect with the cosmos, to bridge the gap between earth and sky, and to explore the mysteries of life, death, and the universe. Stonehenge invites us to consider that ancient knowledge extended beyond the tangible and observable, encompassing an awareness of forces that continue to elude scientific explanation. Standing within Stonehenge today, one can sense the extraordinary alignment of stone, sky, and perception. Whether or not it truly functioned as a cosmic portal, the monument evokes a sense of connection to forces greater than ourselves. Its design, purpose, and mystery endure, inspiring awe, curiosity, and a recognition of humanity's timeless quest to reach beyond the visible, to touch the heavens, and to understand the unseen dimensions of reality. In every shadow, every vibration, and every alignment, Stonehenge whispers the possibility that it was not merely a place of stone but a gateway to the infinite. Stonehenge is not just a monument of stone. It is a living testament to human ingenuity, spirituality, and cultural memory. Its impact extends far beyond the Neolithic era, influencing countless generations of people who have sought to understand, revere, and reinterpret its meaning. The monument's cultural legacy is both tangible and intangible, encompassing archaeology, mythology, art, literature, and contemporary spirituality. Its enduring presence on the Salisbury Plain reminds us that certain human creations are not merely artifacts of history. They are vessels of collective imagination, connecting past, present, and future in ways that transcend time. From the earliest records, Stonehenge has captivated human curiosity. Ancient chroniclers, such as Geoffrey of Monmouth, wove fantastical tales linking the monument to Merlin, giants, and magical transport from distant lands. These stories, while mythological, illustrate the profound impact of Stonehenge on cultural consciousness. Even in medieval Europe, the site was regarded as sacred, inspiring pilgrimage, reverence, and awe. The myths surrounding Stonehenge have persisted for centuries, highlighting humanity's desire to explain the inexplicable, to find meaning in monumental achievement, and to connect earthly experience with the supernatural. Archaeology has revealed another layer of Stonehenge's legacy, documenting the lives, technologies, and rituals of its builders. Excavations, radiocarbon dating, and geophysical surveys have allowed us to reconstruct aspects of Neolithic society, from construction techniques to ceremonial practices. Yet even as science uncovers these details, Stonehenge retains its mystique. Each new discovery, whether a hidden chamber, a cremated burial, or an acoustic anomaly, adds depth to the narrative, reinforcing the monument's status as a bridge between knowledge and mystery. Its cultural legacy is therefore both empirical and symbolic, grounded in evidence yet alive in imagination. Art, literature, and modern media have perpetuated Stonehenge's cultural influence. Poets, painters, and novelists have drawn inspiration from its enigmatic presence, depicting it as a site of magic, mystery, and cosmic alignment. Its imagery has become iconic, representing the intersection of human creativity, natural wonder, and spiritual aspiration. In films, documentaries, and digital media, Stonehenge continues to capture global attention, inviting audiences to explore its secrets and speculate about its purposes. The monument's ability to inspire art and storytelling centuries after its construction underscores its enduring cultural resonance and timeless appeal. Contemporary spiritual and cultural practices also reflect Stonehenge's legacy. Neo-pagan, druidic, and holistic communities hold ceremonies at the site, particularly during the solstices and equinoxes, connecting with its energies, alignments, and spiritual symbolism. These modern rituals are not mere reenactments. They represent a living tradition of engagement, where people seek transformation, reflection, and communion with forces larger than themselves. Stonehenge thus serves as both a historical artifact and a living spiritual landscape, bridging the ancient and the contemporary, the tangible and the transcendent. Stonehenge's influence extends to education and heritage preservation. The monument is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized not only for its architectural and archaeological significance but also for its universal cultural value. It draws scholars, tourists, and students from around the world, fostering a global appreciation for human history, prehistoric knowledge, and the ingenuity of early civilizations. The preservation of Stonehenge ensures that future generations can experience its power firsthand, connecting with both the material achievements and the symbolic meanings embedded in its stones. The cultural legacy of Stonehenge is also reflected in its role as a symbol of human curiosity and exploration. It challenges assumptions about prehistoric societies, forcing us to reconsider what ancient peoples knew about astronomy, engineering, acoustics, and ritual. It inspires questions about life, death, cosmology, and the human desire to connect with forces beyond the immediate world. In this sense, Stonehenge is more than a monument. It is a catalyst for intellectual and spiritual inquiry, a focal point where history, mystery, and imagination converge. Moreover, Stonehenge's legacy is a testament to continuity and change. Over thousands of years, its meaning has evolved, from Neolithic ceremonial center to mythic symbol, from archaeological wonder to modern spiritual site. Each generation interprets the monument through its own lens, infusing it with contemporary values, fears, and aspirations. Yet despite these changing interpretations, Stonehenge's power endures, a reminder that some human creations possess an intrinsic resonance that transcends time, culture, and circumstance. Ultimately, Stonehenge embodies the profound connection between humans and their environment, imagination, and cosmos. Its cultural legacy is a layered tapestry of history, mythology, art, science, and spirituality, illustrating humanity's enduring quest to understand, influence, and celebrate the world around us. The monument stands as both a product of human ingenuity and a source of ongoing inspiration, reminding us that the mysteries of the past continue to shape our present and illuminate our future. Standing in the shadow of Stonehenge today, one cannot help but feel the weight of countless generations who have marveled at its stones, pondered its purpose, and sought connection with the unknown. Its cultural legacy is not static. It lives in every story told, every ritual performed, and every visitor who gazes upon it in wonder. Stonehenge reminds us that true monuments are not merely built. They endure in memory, imagination, and the shared human experience, leaving a mark that is timeless, universal, and profoundly mysterious.